Hello everyone, and welcome back to Help Me GMP for your weekly dose of good manufacturing practice, advice, tips, and guidance. In this series, we will cover a crucial aspect of pharmaceutical manufacturing, the Quality Management System, or QMS. Today, we'll take a high-level look at what a QMS is and its key components. Let's dive in. A Quality Management System, or QMS, is a set of policies, processes, and procedures that ensure products are consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards. It's essential in the pharmaceutical industry for ensuring product safety, quality, and efficacy. Let's explore the key components of a QMS. The Quality Manual outlines the QMS structure and roles within the organization. Standard Operating Procedures, or SOPs, are written instructions for consistent and accurate processes. Site Master File is an overarching document that details all activities in the manufacturing site. Validation Master Plan is a comprehensive document outlining the strategy, scope, and organization of validation activities to ensure all processes, systems, and equipment meet quality standards. Document Control is the systematic management of all QMS-related documents. Training and competence ensures employees have the necessary skills and knowledge. Change Control manage changes to processes, equipment, or systems to minimize risks. Internal audits are key to the constant evaluation of the QMS for compliance and improvement opportunities. Deviations are any departure from an approved procedure or expected outcome that can impact product quality, safety, or compliance. Corrective and preventive actions, or CAPA, address deviations and prevent recurrence. Quality Risk Assessment assesses and controls risks to product quality. Quality Control, or QC, test and inspect products to meet predefined quality criteria. And finally, Quality Assurance, or QA. This is the sum total of all the above arrangements which ensure products are consistently manufactured to the appropriate standard. A robust quality management system is essential for ensuring the safety, efficacy, and quality of pharmaceutical products. By understanding and implementing these key components, we can achieve excellence in manufacturing and protect patients. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to come back and learn more detail about each of the components I've mentioned that form part of the QMS. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Until next time, stay dedicated to quality and keep learning.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Help Me GMP for your weekly dose of good manufacturing practice, advice, tips, and guidance. Imagine a world without reliable medicines, a world where treatments are inconsistent, and trust in healthcare is fragile. This is where the crucial role of the head of quality within both the pharmaceutical manufacturing industry and NHS manufacturing facilities comes in. They are the guardians of patient safety, ensuring that every pill, every injection, every medical product meets the highest standards. Their meticulous work and leadership are vital in delivering effective and safe treatments to millions globally. The head of quality is the linchpin between scientific innovation and patient well-being. Their work underpins the very foundation of trust in healthcare. It's a career path where your dedication directly impacts lives, offering immense job satisfaction. The head of quality has a multifaceted role with significant responsibilities. They oversee all aspects of quality assurance, ensuring products meet stringent regulatory requirements. This involves establishing robust quality systems, conducting rigorous audits, and analyzing data to identify and address potential risks. Compliance is another cornerstone of their role. They ensure the company adheres to all relevant regulations and guidelines, both local and international. This includes good manufacturing practices, a set of regulations that guarantee the quality and safety of pharmaceutical products. Effective team leadership is crucial. The head of quality manages a team of skilled professionals, providing guidance, motivation, and mentorship. They foster a culture of quality throughout the organization, ensuring everyone understands their role in maintaining the highest standards. Risk management is a key area of focus. The head of quality identifies potential risks to product quality and develops strategies to mitigate them. This involves thorough risk assessments, root cause analysis, and the implementation of corrective and preventive actions. Becoming a head of quality demands a unique blend of scientific knowledge, regulatory expertise, and leadership skills. A strong foundation in science, particularly in pharmacy, chemistry, or a related field, is essential. This ensures a deep understanding of the pharmaceutical manufacturing process and the science behind the medicines. In-depth knowledge of regulatory requirements is paramount. The head of quality must be well versed in good manufacturing practices, as well as other relevant regulations. This includes staying updated on any changes or updates in the regulatory landscape. Exceptional leadership and communication skills are vital. They must effectively lead and motivate their team, communicate complex information clearly, and influence decision-making at all levels of the organization. Strong analytical and problem-solving abilities are also crucial. The head of quality must be able to analyze data, identify trends, and develop solutions to complex quality-related challenges. A career as a head of quality offers a rewarding journey of impact and growth. Starting from roles like quality control analyst or quality assurance specialist, individuals can progress to managerial positions with experience and further education. The pharmaceutical industry and NHS manufacturing facilities are constantly evolving, with new technologies and therapies emerging regularly. This dynamic environment provides continuous learning and development opportunities for those in quality management roles. The impact of this role extends far beyond the walls of the manufacturing facility. By ensuring the quality and safety of medicines, the head of quality plays a critical role in protecting and improving public health. The knowledge that your work contributes to the well-being of countless individuals is a powerful motivator, making this career path not just a job, but a calling. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Until next time, stay dedicated to quality and keep learning.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Help Me GMP for your weekly dose of good manufacturing practice, advice, tips and guidance. In our last episode, we discussed standard operating procedures, or SOPs. Today we'll be exploring another essential component of the quality management system, document control. Let's get started. Document control is a critical aspect of the quality management system, or QMS, that ensures all documents related to quality processes are managed systematically. Effective document control helps maintain the integrity, accuracy, and consistency of documents, which is essential for compliance with regulatory requirements and maintaining high-quality standards. Let's break down the key elements of document control. Document creation and review ensures documents are accurate and meet standards. Document approval and issuance makes documents accessible to relevant personnel. Document change control tracks and approves modifications in a controlled way. Document storage and retrieval ensures easy access to stored documents. Document retention and disposal follows regulatory requirements. Access control ensures only authorized personnel can view or modify documents. Often, pharmaceutical manufacturers will use electronic systems to help manage many of these aspects. These systems will automate the approvals process and notification to relevant staff members with a fully auditable history of every document. Some document features such as review date and approvals may be stored in an electronic record's metadata rather than within the document itself. Document control is vital for several reasons. 1. Compliance. It ensures compliance with regulatory requirements by maintaining accurate and up-to-date documentation. 2. Consistency. It helps maintain consistency in processes and procedures, reducing variability and improving quality. 3. Traceability. It provides traceability of document changes, ensuring accountability and transparency. And 4. Efficiency. It improves efficiency by ensuring that employees have quick and easy access to necessary documents. Effective document control is essential for maintaining a robust quality management system and ensuring the quality and compliance of pharmaceutical products. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Until next time, stay dedicated to quality and keep learning.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Help Me GMP for your weekly dose of good manufacturing practice, advice, tips, and guidance. In our last episode, we discussed the importance of document control within the quality management system. Today, we'll be focusing on another critical component, training and competence. Let's get started. Training and competence are essential aspects of the quality management system, or QMS in the pharmaceutical industry. Ensuring that all personnel have the necessary skills, knowledge, and qualifications to perform their roles effectively is crucial for maintaining high standards of product quality and compliance with regulatory requirements. Let's break down the key elements of training and competence. Comprehensive training programs provide employees with the knowledge and skills needed to perform their duties. Identifying training needs is critical for developing effective programs. Maintaining accurate training records is essential for compliance. Assessing employee competence ensures effective application of skills. Ongoing professional development keeps employees current with industry changes. Clearly defining roles and responsibilities ensures high standards. Regular evaluation and feedback enhance training programs continually. When compiling your training documentation, it's important to ensure your staff understand what they're meant to do, how to do it, when and where it should be done. But to really embed the learning, always explain why a task must be performed in a particular way. This way, your staff will be more likely to comply with your training. Training and competence are vital for several reasons. First, ensuring compliance. Proper training helps employees understand and adhere to regulatory requirements, reducing the risk of non-compliance. Second, improving quality. Competent employees are more likely to perform their tasks accurately and consistently, leading to higher product quality. Third, enhancing safety. Well-trained employees are better equipped to identify and mitigate potential hazards, ensuring a safer working environment. And fourth, supporting continuous improvement. Ongoing training and development help employees stay current with industry advancements, promoting a culture of continuous improvement. Ensuring that all personnel are well-trained and competent is essential for achieving excellence in pharmaceutical manufacturing. By investing in comprehensive training programs and ongoing professional development, organizations can enhance product quality, ensure compliance, and foster a culture of continuous improvement. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Until next time, stay dedicated to quality and keep learning.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Help Me GMP for your weekly dose of good manufacturing practice, advice, tips, and guidance. In our last episode, we discussed training and competence within the quality management system. Today, we'll be focusing on another critical component, change control. Let's get started. Change control is a systematic approach to managing all changes made to a product or process. In the pharmaceutical industry, change control is essential to ensure that any modifications do not compromise product quality or compliance with regulatory requirements. It helps maintain the integrity of the quality management system by ensuring that changes are evaluated, documented, and approved before implementation. Let's break down the key elements of change control. Number 1, change request. The process begins with a change request where the proposed change is documented, including the reason for the change. Number 2, impact assessment. An impact assessment evaluates the potential effects on product quality and compliance. The number of impact assessments required will depend on the type and extent of the change and could include impact assessments by various teams, including production, quality control, engineering, regulatory affairs, and of course, quality assurance. Number 3, change approval. Once all required impact assessments are complete, the proposed change is reviewed and approved by the quality assurance team. Number 4, implementation plan. Once approved, an implementation plan is developed with SMART actions, that is, specific, measurable, achievable, with responsibilities defined and timescales allocated. Number 5, documentation and communication. All changes must be thoroughly documented and communicated, with evidence of completion of each step added to the change record. It is likely training in a new process will be required, which should be recorded within the quality system. Number 6, implementation. Once all pre-implementation actions are complete, the change may be implemented. Number 7, monitoring and review. After implementation, the change is monitored to ensure it achieves the desired outcome, and there have been no deleterious consequences of making the change. The effectiveness of the change in achieving the intended result may also be reviewed. Change control is vital for several reasons. Firstly, it ensures compliance by making sure all changes are evaluated and approved, maintaining alignment with regulatory requirements. Secondly, it helps maintain product quality by assessing the impact of changes and implementing necessary controls. Thirdly, it identifies and mitigates risks associated with changes, ensuring they do not negatively affect the quality management system. Lastly, it supports continuous improvement by allowing organizations to make necessary changes in a controlled and systematic manner. Effective change control is essential for maintaining a robust quality management system and ensuring the quality and compliance of pharmaceutical products. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Until next time, stay dedicated to quality and keep learning. Welcome back to Help Me GMP. Today we will be covering what is GMP, what is Annex 1, and who are the MHRA? Good manufacturing practice, or GMP, is a system for ensuring that medicinal products are consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards. It's designed to minimize the risks associated with pharmaceutical production rather than relying on final product testing. GMP covers all aspects of production, from the starting material suppliers, premises, and equipment to the training of staff and hygiene practices. Patient safety is paramount, and GMP is the bedrock of ensuring that medicines are safe and effective. It builds trust and confidence in the pharmaceutical industry, guaranteeing that products meet stringent quality requirements. Following GMP guidelines is not just a good idea, it's a legal and ethical obligation for manufacturers. GMP regulations provide a framework for manufacturers to follow, ensuring consistent quality across the pharmaceutical sector. These regulations are internationally recognized and adopted, creating a harmonized approach to drug production worldwide. Adherence to GMP helps prevent instances of contamination, mix-ups, and errors, which could have serious consequences for patients. By focusing on preventative measures, GMP minimizes the risk of defects and deviations from expected quality standards. The aim is to produce medicines that are fit for their intended use, consistently delivering the therapeutic benefit they promise. GMP is not a static concept. It's a constantly evolving system that adapts to advancements in technology and scientific understanding. Regular updates and revisions ensure that the guidelines remain relevant and effective in addressing emerging challenges. The industry's commitment to continuous improvement is reflected in the ongoing refinement of GMP principles. This dynamic approach allows GMP to stay ahead of potential risks and maintain the highest standards of quality in pharmaceutical manufacturing. GMP is a cornerstone of public health, protecting patients and ensuring the integrity of the medicines they rely on. The importance of GMP cannot be overstated. It's a fundamental system that underpins the safety and efficacy of medicinal products. By adhering to GMP, manufacturers demonstrate their commitment to producing high-quality medicines that meet the needs of patients and healthcare professionals. This commitment fosters trust and confidence in the pharmaceutical industry, ensuring that patients receive the medications they need without compromise. GMP is not merely a set of rules, It's a philosophy that prioritizes patient well-being above all else. GMP encompasses a wide range of activities within the pharmaceutical manufacturing process. These include, but are not limited to, quality control, quality assurance, sanitation, and hygiene. Clearly defined procedures and documentation are essential components of GMP, providing a traceable record of every step in the production process. This meticulous record-keeping allows for thorough investigations in case of any deviations or quality issues. Detailed standard operating procedures, or SOPs, ensure consistency and prevent errors. Qualified and trained personnel are crucial for implementing GMP effectively. Regular training programs ensure that staff are up to date with the latest GMP requirements and best practices. This investment in human capital is essential for maintaining a high level of quality and compliance. Properly trained personnel are the backbone of any successful GMP system, ensuring that procedures are followed diligently and consistently. Their expertise and attention to detail are vital for preventing errors and maintaining product integrity. Facilities and equipment must adhere to strict standards to prevent contamination and cross-contamination. Regular maintenance, cleaning, and calibration are essential to ensure that equipment operates within specified parameters. The design and layout of facilities play a significant role in minimizing the risk of contamination. Clean rooms and controlled environments are critical for maintaining the sterility of certain products. Effective environmental monitoring systems are also crucial for detecting and controlling potential contaminants. Documentation is a cornerstone of GMP, providing a comprehensive record of all manufacturing activities. Batch records, which document the entire production history of a specific batch of medicine, are crucial for traceability and investigation. These records provide evidence of compliance with GMP requirements and allow for the identification of potential issues. Comprehensive documentation helps ensure accountability and transparency throughout the manufacturing process. It provides a clear audit trail that can be used to verify compliance and identify areas for improvement. Now let's talk specifically about the manufacture of sterile medicinal products. Annex 1 of the EU GMP guidelines specifically addresses the manufacture of sterile medicinal products. Sterile products must be free from microorganisms and other contaminants, as even minute levels of contamination can have severe consequences for patients. Annex 1 provides detailed guidance on how to achieve and maintain sterility throughout the manufacturing process. The primary objective of Annex 1 is to prevent contamination by microorganisms, particulates, and pyrogens. It outlines stringent requirements for clean rooms, equipment, personnel, and processes. These requirements are designed to minimize the risk of contamination at every stage of production, from the raw materials to the finished product. The emphasis on contamination control is paramount, as even the smallest lapse in hygiene can compromise the sterility of the product. Annex 1 provides a comprehensive framework for managing these risks and ensuring patient safety. Several key principles underpin Annex 1's approach to sterile manufacturing. These include a strong focus on quality risk management, meticulous premises, design and control, rigorous equipment qualification, stringent control of utilities like water and air, comprehensive personnel training, and robust quality control procedures. Each of these elements plays a vital role in ensuring the sterility and safety of finished products. Annex 1 provides detailed guidance on how to implement these principles effectively. Quality Risk Management, or QRM, is an integral part of Annex 1, ensuring that contamination control measures are based on a scientific understanding of potential risks. QRM is a systematic approach to identifying, assessing, and controlling risks that could affect product quality and patient safety. By proactively identifying and mitigating potential risks, manufacturers can reduce the likelihood of contamination and other quality issues. This approach helps prioritize resources and efforts to maximize the effectiveness of contamination control. These arrangements are now required to be presented in an overarching document which describes all measures contributing to the control of contamination in a contamination control strategy. Premises design and control are critical for minimizing contamination risks. Clean rooms are classified according to the level of particulate and microbial contamination allowed. Annex 1 specifies requirements for air filtration, airflow patterns, and pressure differentials to prevent the ingress of contaminants. Regular monitoring and cleaning are essential to maintain the integrity of the cleanroom environment. The layout and design of the facility should facilitate efficient cleaning and disinfection procedures. Equipment qualification is another crucial aspect of Annex 1. Equipment must be designed, installed, and operated in a way that prevents contamination. This includes selecting materials that are resistant to microbial growth and easy to clean. Regular cleaning, sterilization, and maintenance are essential to ensure that equipment remains in optimal condition. Validation studies are performed to demonstrate that equipment operates as intended and effectively controls contamination. Utilities such as water and air are critical for sterile manufacturing. Annex 1 outlines stringent requirements for the quality of these utilities. Water used in the manufacturing process must meet specific purity standards to prevent contamination. Air filtration systems are essential for removing particulates and microorganisms from the air supply. Regular monitoring and testing are necessary to verify the quality of these utilities and ensure they meet the required specifications. Annex 1 provides detailed guidance on the design, operation, and maintenance of utility systems. Who is responsible for ensuring manufacturers comply? The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, or MHRA, is the competent authority responsible for ensuring GMP compliance in the UK. The MHRA conducts regular inspections of pharmaceutical manufacturing facilities to verify adherence to GMP guidelines. These inspections assess all aspects of production, from raw materials and premises to documentation and personnel training. The MHRA plays a critical role in ensuring the safety and quality of medicines manufactured and supplied in the UK. The MHRA's enforcement powers allow them to take action against manufacturers who fail to comply with GMP requirements. This can range from issuing warning letters and limiting activity to suspending or revoking manufacturing licenses. The MHRA's enforcement activities are crucial for deterring non-compliance and protecting public health. By taking swift and decisive action against violations, the MHRA maintains the integrity of the pharmaceutical supply chain. The MHRA also provides support to manufacturers by publishing guidance and blog posts, including annual symposia for the industry. This proactive approach helps manufacturers understand and comply with GMP requirements, fostering a culture of quality and patient safety. The MHRA's guidance and support are valuable resources for manufacturers, helping them navigate the complexities of GMP regulations. The MHRA plays a vital role in protecting public health by ensuring that medicinal products meet stringent quality standards. Their inspections, enforcement activities, and guidance contribute significantly to maintaining the integrity of the pharmaceutical industry. By upholding GMP standards, the MHRA helps ensure that patients have access to safe and effective medicines. Their work is essential for building public trust and confidence in the quality of medicinal products. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Until next time, stay dedicated to quality and keep learning. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Help Me GMP. Today we're diving into two important roles unique to aseptic preparation within the pharmaceutical and healthcare space: the accountable pharmacist and the authorized pharmacist. Aseptic preparation requires two key roles designed to ensure the safety, quality, and efficacy of medicines prepared within aseptic units for treatment of cancer or other conditions. These roles are essential for maintaining high standards of patient care and medicine quality. Let's start with the accountable pharmacist. They oversee medicine preparation and dispensing under the Section 10 exemption of the Medicines Act, ensuring compliance with legal and regulatory requirements. Their responsibilities include regulatory compliance. They must ensure all activities comply with relevant laws and regulations. Quality assurance. They are responsible for overseeing processes to ensure medicines are prepared and dispensed safely and meet stringent quality standards. Risk management. They must identify and mitigate risks within the aseptic unit. Training and supervision. They are accountable for training and supervision of staff to ensure staff competence and compliance. They must supervise a range of staff including pharmacists, pharmacy technicians, science manufacturing technicians, aseptic assistants and students. Record keeping is a fundamental responsibility of the role. They must maintain accurate records of all pharmaceutical activities in line with the requirements set out in IQAPs. The skills and qualifications an accountable pharmacist must have are a degree in pharmacy and registration with the GPHC. They require sufficient experience in a pharmaceutical setting such as an aseptic unit. They must have understanding of laws, regulations and guidelines in relation to preparation of sterile medicines. Lastly, they must have strong leadership and communication skills to manage a pharmacy aseptic team. Next, let's discuss the authorized pharmacist. Accountable pharmacists designate authorized pharmacists within their aseptic units. The authorized pharmacist ensures the safe and effective preparation of medicines, complying with internal procedures and published guidelines. This involves reviewing preparation records, inspecting prepared doses, and ensuring compliance with good manufacturing practice. They collaborate with the accountable pharmacist to maintain the pharmaceutical quality system within the aseptic unit and perform supervision of the preparation of sterile medicines. They often carry out the clinical verification of prescriptions or final release of aseptically prepared products as delegated by the accountable pharmacist. A degree in pharmacy and GPHC registration are required, with additional training beneficial. Experience in aseptic services is key, and interprofessional collaboration is valuable. Excellent communication skills are necessary to provide clear information to colleagues. Both roles offer numerous opportunities for career growth and development within pharmacy. These roles provide potential to advance to senior pharmacy positions such as lead pharmacist, pharmacy manager, or chief pharmacist. Opportunities also exist to specialize in areas such as clinical governance, medicines management, or quality assurance. There are often opportunities to develop both clinical and managerial skills, gain experience with advanced pharmaceutical practices, and participate in research and development projects. This includes engaging in continuing professional development, CPD, and pursuing additional certifications and qualifications. The roles of the accountable pharmacist and authorized pharmacist are essential for ensuring the safe and effective preparation of sterile medicines within pharmacy aseptic units. By overseeing preparation activities and releasing medicines, these professionals help protect patient health and maintain the integrity of this crucial part of the healthcare system. If you're passionate about aseptics and eager to make a difference in the NHS, the roles of accountable pharmacist and authorized pharmacist might be perfect for you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Hello and welcome back to the Help Me GMP channel. Today we have some exciting news to share about a major development in the world of clinical trials in the UK. The UK government has just announced a groundbreaking new framework for clinical trials, which is set to revolutionise the way trials are conducted in the country. This new legislation, laid in Parliament on the 12th of December 2024, aims to make the UK one of the best places in the world to conduct clinical research. This overhaul, the biggest in 20 years, is designed to streamline the approval process, reduce unnecessary administrative burdens, and encourage innovation in trial design without compromising patient safety. So, what does this mean for patients, the NHS, and the life sciences sector? First, it will speed up trial approvals, making it easier and faster to get potentially life-changing treatments to patients. Second, it will facilitate the development of new or better medicines, benefiting both patients and society. One of the key aspects of this new framework is its focus on transparency and public involvement. Trials will now be required to register in a World Health Organization recognized public register, and results must be published within 12 months of the trial's end. This ensures that research findings are accessible and that the public can trust the process. The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency and the Health Research Authority have been instrumental in developing these reforms. They've worked closely with stakeholders, including patient representatives, to ensure that the new regulations meet the needs of the research community and protect trial participants. With this new framework, the UK is positioning itself as a global leader in clinical research, attracting innovators and ensuring that patients have access to cutting-edge treatments. It's an exciting time for the life sciences sector, and we can't wait to see the positive impact this will have on healthcare. Let's delve deeper into some of the specifics of this new framework. The legislation will remove duplicative requirements and embed the combined review and notification scheme for some clinical trial initial applications and amendments into law. This means that the approval process will be more streamlined and efficient, reducing the time it takes to get trials up and running. Additionally, the framework will promote public health and ensure the protection of participants remains at the heart of legislation. Another significant change is the introduction of a clear standard for how clinical trials should be conducted in the UK. This includes improving the transparency of research, simplifying the means of seeking and recording consent for some trials, and ensuring that trial findings are shared with participants in a timely and understandable manner. These measures are designed to build trust and confidence in the clinical trial process. The new regulations also aim to facilitate the evaluation and development of new or better medicines, which will benefit patients and society as a whole. By creating a more flexible and risk-proportionate regulatory environment, the UK hopes to attract more international trials and become a preferred destination for clinical research. That's all for today's update on the new clinical trials framework in the UK. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Welcome to Help Me GMP. Have you ever wondered whether medicines could be made where they're needed most, like in hospitals, clinics, or even a patient's home? Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic: the UK's unique world-leading approach to decentralized manufacturing. We'll explore what licenses are required and what it means for marketing authorization holders for this type of manufacture and for patients. Decentralized manufacturing is a revolutionary approach where medicinal products are manufactured closer to the point of care, such as hospitals, clinics, or a patient's home, rather than at large centralized manufacturing sites. This method is gaining traction due to its potential to produce personalized medicines with very short shelf lives, such as autologous advanced therapy, medicinal products or ATMPs, which are made from material like blood cells or other tissues, collected from the patient who needs the treatment. To engage in decentralized manufacturing, manufacturing licenses are required to ensure compliance and maintain the highest standards of quality and safety. Here's a summary of the different types of license which may be required. First, the Manufacture and Importation Authorization, or MIA. This license is essential for manufacturing, assembling, or importing marketed human medicines. It requires that all activities comply with Good Manufacturing Practice, GMP standards, which cover everything from production processes to quality control, and the requirements of the marketing authorization for the product itself. Alternatively, for medicines which do not have a product license, a specials license or MS may be required. This license authorizes manufacture of unlicensed medicines where a special clinical need exists that cannot be met by existing licensed products. The third type of manufacturing license under which decentralized manufacture could be considered is the MIA IMP license. This would be required where decentralized manufacturing involves investigational medicinal products, or IMPs. A clinical trials authorization, or CTA, would also be required. This ensures that clinical trials are conducted ethically and that patient safety is prioritized. Additionally, key personnel must be in place, such as the head of quality, head of production, and for licensed products or IMPs, a qualified person. These roles ensure that all processes adhere to regulatory standards and that the quality of the medicines is maintained. Check out our other videos on key roles in pharmaceutical manufacture to find out more. The UK's approach to decentralized manufacturing is unique due to the brand new proposed regulatory framework, a world first, to ensure the UK remains at the cutting edge of medicines manufacture and research. Here are some aspects that set it apart. First, the point of care, or POC, framework. The UK will introduce a novel regulatory framework specifically for point of care, POC products. This framework aims to support the safe development and licensing of POC manufacture, ensuring they meet the same quality, safety and efficacy standards as medicines manufactured by traditional methods in large, licensed, centralized facilities. The legislation doesn't stop at medicines manufactured at the point of care, but introduces concepts such as modular manufacture, whereby medicines are manufactured in mobile units, which may be temporarily located where they are required, then relocated without the need for re-inspection by the MHRA at the new site. Second, the integration with healthcare systems. The UK is integrating decentralized manufacturing into its healthcare systems, allowing for closer collaboration between manufacturers and healthcare providers. This can lead to more responsive and flexible production systems, better suited to meet immediate patient needs. Finally, the focus on advanced therapies. The framework is designed to facilitate the production of advanced therapy medicinal products, ATMPs, such as personalized medicines and tissue-engineered products, which may have extremely short shelf lives. These therapies often require rapid manufacture and delivery, making decentralized approaches particularly beneficial. For manufacturers, decentralized manufacturing introduces both challenges and opportunities. Here's what it means for them. First, regulatory adaptation. Where an MA holder wishes to perform decentralized manufacture, they must adapt to the new regulatory requirements set by the MHRA. This includes ensuring that their remote manufacturing sites comply with GMP standards and the marketing authorization for the product, or CTA, for IMPs. Second, quality assurance. The introduction of decentralized manufacturing emphasizes the need for robust quality assurance systems. MA license holders must ensure that their quality assurance measures are scalable and adaptable to smaller, decentralized production environments. Third, documentation and compliance. Navigating the new point-of-care framework requires additional systems and compliance measures. This includes detailed records of manufacturing processes, training and qualification of manufacturing equipment to ensure consistency, traceability, and accountability. Fourth, innovation and flexibility. Manufacturers wishing to perform decentralized manufacturing must develop a system of oversight of the manufacturing locations, operating as a control site, and maintaining relevant master files relating to each decentralized manufacturing location. Finally, there will be a significant change to the arrangements for release of these locally manufactured products. There will be insufficient time for quality control tests or qualified person certification prior to administration. This places the emphasis on in-process controls and other manufacturing parameters in order to ensure the consistency of the manufacturer's products. A decision of whether to administer the product is likely to be required in a matter of minutes following manufacture. As a result, it is likely when well-defined criteria for release are met by the starting materials and the manufacturing process, including any automated in-process control testing, the product will be released for administration. All of these complex controls will need to be well defined in the marketing authorization or clinical trial application. For patients, decentralized manufacturing can bring significant benefits. First, personalized medicine. Decentralized manufacturing allows for the production of personalized medicines tailored to individual patient needs. This can improve treatment outcomes by providing therapies that are specifically designed for a patient's genetic profile or medical condition. Second, faster access to treatments. Manufacturing medicines closer to the point of care can reduce delivery times, ensuring that patients receive their treatments more quickly. This is particularly crucial for conditions that require immediate medical attention or therapies with very short shelf lives. Third, access to innovative new medicines. By introducing this new legislation, the UK will give patients access to medicines which could not otherwise be delivered at scale across many sites. And lastly, improved healthcare delivery. By integrating manufacturing with healthcare systems, decentralized approaches can lead to more efficient and effective healthcare delivery. Healthcare providers can work closely with manufacturers to ensure that patients receive the most appropriate treatments in a timely manner. For MS license holders, the proposed legislation presents similar opportunities and challenges. First, expanded capabilities. MS license holders wishing to manage decentralized manufacture would need to expand their capabilities to include the control site requirements. This will also involve investing in new technologies and training personnel at manufacturing sites to handle decentralized manufacturing equipment and techniques. Second, compliance with the new framework. MS license holders must ensure that they comply with the new POC regulatory framework. This includes meeting all documentation, quality assurance, and traceability requirements set by the MHRA. Third, collaboration with healthcare providers. Decentralized manufacturing requires close collaboration with healthcare providers. MS license holders must develop strong partnerships with hospitals, clinics, and other healthcare facilities where manufacture will occur to ensure seamless integration of manufacturing and patient care. And lastly, innovation and adaptation. The shift towards decentralized manufacturing encourages innovation. MS license holders have the opportunity to develop new manufacturing methods, improve production efficiency, and create more flexible and responsive manufacturing systems. And there you have it. The UK's approach to decentralized manufacturing is paving the way for more personalized and efficient healthcare. This novel approach in the UK brings significant benefits to manufacturers and patients alike, ensuring that medicines are produced and delivered with the highest standards of quality and safety, whilst facilitating introduction of novel, complex medicines. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Welcome to Help Me GMP. Today we're diving into a critical issue: the Windsor Framework and its impact on medicine supply across Great Britain and Northern Ireland. In this video we will cover what are the benefits, challenges, and most importantly, are there any risks to patients? So let's break it down. The Windsor Framework, agreed in early 2023, is a new arrangement between the UK and the EU that replaces parts of the Northern Ireland Protocol. It aims to address trade friction while maintaining peace in the region, and yes, it directly impacts the supply of medicines. The implementation date for the Windsor Framework was set for the 1st of January 2025, marking a significant shift in how medicines are regulated and supplied to Northern Ireland. Under this framework, medicines approved by the UK regulator, the MHRA, can flow freely from Great Britain into Northern Ireland without being subject to EU regulatory hurdles. This is a significant change from the previous protocol, which required full EU compliance for medicines entering Northern Ireland. Let us know in the comments how you think the Windsor Framework will impact the pharmaceutical industry. Let's start with the benefits. First, the Windsor Framework simplifies the regulatory landscape for pharmaceutical companies. Medicines destined for Northern Ireland no longer need dual regulatory approval. This reduces delays and costs for manufacturers. For marketing authorization holders, this means that medicines authorized by the MHRA can be supplied directly to Northern Ireland without additional EU marketing authorization. This streamlining ensures quicker access to essential medicines for patients in Northern Ireland and fosters a more unified UK market. Similarly, manufacturing and importation authorization holders benefit from reduced duplication. Batch testing and qualified person certification no longer need to comply with EU legislation for medicines supplied to Northern Ireland, saving both time and resources. But it's not all smooth sailing. One major challenge is that manufacturers now need to manage two regulatory regimes, one for the UK and another for the EU, where medicines are manufactured for both markets. This dual compliance can be resource-intensive for companies. MA and MIA holders serving both the EU and UK markets face complexities in ensuring compliance. For instance, while batch testing for Northern Ireland follows MHRA guidelines, medicines entering the EU still need to meet EU requirements. This duality could lead to increased operational costs and the need for more robust compliance systems to handle these parallel frameworks effectively. There is also now a requirement for all UK medicines to state UK only on the pack. This can be in the form of an additional label applied prior to certification for the first 12 months until artwork is updated. So, what about patients? Are there risks under the Windsor framework? Potential risks include supply chain disruptions if manufacturers struggle to navigate dual systems. Any delay in approvals or distribution could impact the availability of critical medicines. For marketing authorization holders, divergence in labeling and packaging requirements between the UK and EU could cause confusion for healthcare providers and patients. Meanwhile, manufacturer and distributor authorization holders must carefully manage logistics to prevent supply interruptions and ensure consistent medicine quality. Despite these challenges, the Windsor framework is a step forward in creating a workable solution for medicine supply across the UK. Collaboration between the UK and EU, along with clear guidance for the pharmaceutical industry, will be key to minimizing risks. MA and MIA holders must remain proactive, investing in systems to manage dual regulatory frameworks effectively. Patients and healthcare providers should also stay vigilant, reporting any issues promptly to ensure uninterrupted medicine availability. So to sum up, the Windsor framework brings both opportunities and challenges. While it simplifies some aspects of medicine supply, it also introduces complexity that requires careful management. Ensuring patient safety and uninterrupted access to medicines must remain the top priority. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Welcome back to Help Me GMP. In the intricate web of the pharmaceutical industry, ensuring the safety and efficacy of medicinal products is paramount. From the moment these products leave the manufacturing facility until they reach the hands of patients, a crucial journey unfolds: the distribution process. This journey, fraught with potential risks and challenges, necessitates robust controls to safeguard the integrity of these vital goods. This is where good distribution practice, commonly known as GDP, takes center stage. GDP encompasses a meticulous set of guidelines and principles that govern the proper handling, storage, and transportation of pharmaceutical products throughout the supply chain. It serves as a critical line of defense, protecting patients from the dangers of counterfeit, substandard, or degraded medications. By adhering to GDP regulations, stakeholders in the pharmaceutical industry play a pivotal role in upholding public health and maintaining trust in the healthcare system. The importance of GDP cannot be overstated. It is not merely a regulatory checkbox, but a fundamental pillar of patient safety. When GDP principles are compromised, the consequences can be dire, ranging from treatment failures to life-threatening adverse events. Therefore, a comprehensive understanding of GDP requirements and a steadfast commitment to their implementation are non-negotiable for all staff involved in the pharmaceutical supply chain. This video delves into the intricacies of GDP, providing a comprehensive guide for stakeholders seeking to navigate this complex landscape. We will embark on a journey that begins by unraveling the fundamental principles of GDP. What exactly constitutes good distribution practice, and what are the core tenets that underpin this critical framework? Moving beyond the theoretical, we will explore the practical implications of GDP for wholesale distribution authorization holders. These entities, operating at the heart of the pharmaceutical supply chain, bear a significant responsibility in upholding GDP standards. We will examine the specific challenges they face and the strategies they can employ to ensure compliance. This video will serve as a practical roadmap, equipping viewers with the knowledge and tools to master GDP compliance. We will delve into the specific requirements for achieving and maintaining GDP certification, covering areas such as quality management systems, personnel training, storage and transportation conditions, documentation, and risk management. Furthermore, we will go beyond the basics, offering additional tips and insights to enhance GDP compliance efforts. From leveraging technology to foster a culture of continuous improvement, we will explore innovative approaches to elevate GDP practices within organizations. Good distribution practice, or GDP, is a quality assurance system for the pharmaceutical supply chain. It ensures products reach patients safely and effectively. GDP mitigates risks like contamination and counterfeiting. Compliance is legally required and crucial for patient safety. The foundation of good distribution practice rests upon key principles guiding the pharmaceutical supply chain. These principles ensure the quality and integrity of medicinal products. Quality management is fundamental. GDP mandates a robust quality management system. Traceability is crucial. Accurate records enable swift identification and recall. Temperature control is paramount. Strict temperature ranges must be maintained. Security is critical. Robust security measures prevent unauthorized access and theft. The importance of good distribution practice extends far beyond regulatory compliance. It is a global imperative for safeguarding patient safety. By ensuring the quality and integrity of medicinal products throughout the distribution process, GDP plays a pivotal role in protecting public health and maintaining trust in the healthcare system. When pharmaceutical products are handled, stored and transported according to GDP guidelines, patients can be confident that the medications they receive are safe, effective, and of the highest quality. GDP helps to prevent the distribution of counterfeit, substandard, or degraded products, which can have serious consequences for patient health. Moreover, GDP contributes to the fight against antimicrobial resistance, a growing global health threat. By ensuring the proper storage and handling of antibiotics, GDP contributes to prevent the development and spread of drug-resistant bacteria. This is crucial for preserving the effectiveness of these life-saving medications. The implementation of GDP fosters a culture of quality and traceability within the pharmaceutical supply chain. It encourages organizations to prioritize patient safety and to continuously improve their processes and systems. This, in turn, leads to a more robust and reliable healthcare system that patients can trust. Wholesale distribution authorization, or WDA holders, occupy a pivotal position in the pharmaceutical supply chain. They ensure efficient and secure distribution of medicinal products. Their actions impact the health and well-being of countless individuals. WDA holders maintain the integrity of medicinal products from receipt to dispatch. For WDA holders, compliance with GDP is a non-negotiable regulatory imperative. Regulatory authorities worldwide have established stringent GDP guidelines. WDA holders are legally obligated to adhere to these standards. Non-compliance can lead to severe consequences. Authorities can impose fines, product recalls, and even criminal prosecution. Non-compliance can damage a WDA holder's reputation. News of infractions spreads rapidly, eroding trust. The reputational damage can be difficult to repair. WDA holders must establish a robust quality management system. This includes documented procedures, regular audits, and continuous improvement. Personnel must be adequately trained in GDP requirements. Regular training programs should be conducted to keep staff updated. GDP compliance carries a profound ethical dimension for WDA holders. It's about protecting public health by ensuring the safety and efficacy of medicinal products. Wholesalers have an ethical obligation to uphold the highest standards of quality and safety. Their decisions impact patient health outcomes. A lapse in quality control or a break in the cold chain can have serious consequences. Ethical GDP compliance requires a culture of quality and commitment to patient safety. Transparency and accountability are paramount. Wholesalers should be open and transparent about their operations. This builds trust and confidence in the pharmaceutical supply chain. By embracing ethical GDP compliance, in turn they contribute to a safer healthcare system. At the heart of good distribution practice, GDP, lies a robust quality management system, QMS. This system serves as the backbone of compliance, managing all aspects of the pharmaceutical distribution process. A comprehensive QMS ensures the quality and integrity of medicinal products at every stage. It encompasses receipt of goods, storage, inventory management, transportation, and documentation. Clear responsibilities ensure everyone understands their role in maintaining GDP compliance. Documentation is paramount, providing consistency and evidence of compliance. The success of any quality management system hinges on the competence and commitment of the personnel. Human error highlights the need for comprehensive training and qualification programs. Training should be ongoing, starting with onboarding and continuing throughout an employee's tenure. The curriculum should cover all relevant aspects of GDP, including regulatory requirements and company procedures. Maintaining the quality of medicinal products relies on optimal storage and transportation conditions. Temperature excursions and physical damage can compromise these sensitive goods. Storage facilities must provide a secure and controlled environment, maintain appropriate temperature, humidity, and protection from pests and light. Transportation requires maintaining the cold chain with validated vehicles. Loading and unloading procedures should prevent damage to products. Documentation and record-keeping are essential components of GDP compliance. Meticulous documentation creates a transparent and traceable system. Every step of the distribution process should be documented accurately. This includes maintaining records of purchase orders, invoices, and delivery notes. Records should be clear, concise, complete, and readily retrievable. Traceability is a cornerstone of GDP. Proactively identifying and mitigating potential threats. GDP is about proactively identifying and mitigating risks to ensure the quality and integrity of medicinal products. A robust risk management system helps anticipate challenges and implement control measures. It starts with identifying potential hazards and evaluating their impact. Hazards include temperature excursions, product damage, counterfeiting, and theft. Implement control measures to mitigate risks. Measures should be proportionate to the risk level. For example, use validated temperature-controlled vehicles and real-time monitoring. The system should be dynamic, regularly reviewed and updated. Foster a culture of risk awareness and encourage hazard reporting. Provide regular training to ensure effective risk management. While a WDA holder's internal operations are paramount for GDP compliance, it's crucial to recognize that the pharmaceutical supply chain is an intricate web of interconnected entities. A weak link anywhere along this chain can compromise the integrity of the entire system, highlighting the importance of extending GDP principles beyond an organization's own walls and fostering collaborative partnerships with suppliers. Engaging with suppliers through regular audits and inspections is essential to verify their adherence to GDP standards. These audits should focus on critical aspects such as storage conditions, transportation practices, documentation procedures, and security measures. The selection of suppliers should not be based solely on cost, but should prioritize those with a demonstrated commitment to quality and compliance. Open and transparent communication channels with suppliers are vital for addressing potential issues promptly and effectively. This includes establishing clear communication protocols, designating points of contact for quality-related matters, and fostering an environment where concerns can be raised and addressed collaboratively, without fear of retribution. Regular meetings and joint training sessions can further strengthen supplier relationships and promote a shared understanding of GDP requirements. These forums provide opportunities to share best practices, discuss challenges, and align on quality standards, fostering a collaborative approach to maintaining the integrity of the pharmaceutical supply chain. In today's digital age, technology plays an increasingly transformative role in enhancing efficiency, visibility, and compliance in GDP operations. From real-time temperature monitoring systems to blockchain-enabled traceability solutions, technological advancements offer WDA holders powerful tools to streamline processes, reduce human error, and enhance the security and integrity of the pharmaceutical supply chain. Temperature-sensitive medicinal products require meticulous temperature control throughout their journey. Real-time temperature monitoring systems, equipped with sensors and data loggers, provide continuous visibility into storage and transportation conditions, enabling WDA holders to detect and respond to temperature excursions promptly, minimizing the risk of product degradation. Inventory management systems can be significantly enhanced through the use of barcode or RFID technology, automating stock tracking, facilitating accurate inventory counts, and reducing the risk of stockouts or expired products. These systems provide real-time visibility into stock levels, enabling WDA holders to optimize inventory management practices and ensure timely replenishment. Modern technology offers promising applications for enhancing traceability and combating counterfeit products in the pharmaceutical supply chain. By creating a secure record of product movement, distributors must maintain an auditable trail from manufacturer to patient, enhancing transparency, accountability, and trust in the authenticity of medicinal products. Achieving GDP compliance requires a culture of compliance that permeates all levels of an organization. Leadership must demonstrate a visible and unwavering commitment to GDP. This commitment should be reflected in actions, such as allocating resources and recognizing exemplary compliance behaviors. Open communication is paramount in a culture of compliance. Regular training programs play a crucial role in embedding GDP principles. In the realm of good distribution practice, the responsible person ensures adherence to stringent standards. This role demands expertise, vigilance, and leadership. The RP oversees the quality management system and conducts audits. They ensure compliance and liaise with regulatory authorities. While the responsible person holds ultimate accountability for GDP compliance, the successful implementation requires a concerted effort from a team of dedicated individuals. Each plays a crucial role in this orchestrated symphony of quality and safety. The responsible person acts as the guardian of quality standards within the organization. They develop and implement quality control procedures, ensuring all activity protects the product. Their commitment to quality prevents the distribution of substandard products. The warehouse manager maintains the integrity of medicinal products during storage. They ensure the warehouse environment meets GDP requirements, including proper temperature and humidity control, security measures, and pest control. Their oversight of stock rotation and inventory management is crucial. The transportation manager oversees the safe transportation of medicinal products, ensuring cold chain conditions are maintained throughout the journey. They select qualified carriers and validate transportation routes, implementing temperature monitoring systems to track conditions during transit. Their role prevents temperature excursions that could compromise product quality. The cornerstones of effective GDP implementation. Achieving GDP compliance is a collective responsibility demanding seamless collaboration and open communication among all personnel. From the warehouse floor to the executive suite, a shared understanding of GDP principles is essential. Regular team meetings and cross-functional training sessions foster collaboration and knowledge sharing. Open communication channels ensure potential issues are identified and addressed promptly. Employees should feel empowered to voice concerns and suggest improvements. Creating a speak-up culture is essential for fostering a proactive approach to risk management. Embracing a culture of continuous improvement in GDP. Compliance is not a static endpoint, but a dynamic journey of continuous improvement. The pharmaceutical landscape is constantly evolving with new challenges and technologies. Embrace continuous learning, adaptation, and innovation. Commitment to quality and patient safety is essential. Every individual plays a role in upholding GDP standards. Shared responsibility fosters purpose and accountability. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Do you suffer from interview jitters? Interviews can be a bit nerve-wracking, can't they? We've all been there. You're excited about the job, but the thought of answering tricky questions can make you feel a bit nervous. Well, don't worry, we've got you covered. Today, we're going to build on the STAR technique we covered in our last video with more examples. At Help Me GMP, we think it's like having a secret weapon for your interview. This method helps you answer those tough questions that interviewers love to throw your way. You know the ones, like tell me about a time you failed or describe a situation where you had to work under pressure. So stick with us, and by the end of this, you'll be armed and ready to dazzle those interviewers with your amazing answers. Before we jump into the questions, let's have a quick recap on the magic formula that is STAR. Remember, it stands for situation, task, action, result. First, you set the scene. So describe the event or situation you were in, then move on to the task, where you need to explain what you had to do. Then focus on the actions you took. Remember, this is the important bit, so describe the specific actions you took to handle the situation. And finally, what was the result? Try and cover how you reflected on your actions and would you have done something differently. This method is brilliant because it helps you tell a structured and compelling story, and let's face it, interviewers love stories. It also shows them how you actually behave in real situations, not just what you say you'd do. Okay, time to dive into some real-life examples with our first question. Can you give us an example of when you have noticed an error in someone else's work? What did you do? Remember, always start with the situation. During an internal batch record review for a sterile pharmaceutical product, I noticed that the microbiological environmental monitoring results were not correctly transcribed into the final report. The actual recorded data from the monitoring sheets indicated an excursion in one clean room, but this was not flagged or reflected in the batch report summary. Then move on to the task. My priority was to address the discrepancy immediately, prevent any potential regulatory non-compliance, and ensure the issue was investigated thoroughly to maintain product safety and quality. The next part is really important, the action you took. I double-checked the environmental monitoring records from the primary data to confirm the discrepancy and documented my findings in a deviation report. I then escalated the issue to the QA team and ensured the deviation was appropriately prioritized and investigated. I facilitated a review of the clean room monitoring data with the microbiology and production teams to trace the source of the issue. Additionally, I ensured the batch was placed into quarantine while a thorough root cause investigation was completed. To prevent future occurrences, I collaborated with the QA and microbiology teams to implement a cross-checking system for transcribed data and conducted a training session for the production staff on the importance of accurate documentation in GMP compliance. Lastly, round off your answer with the result. The investigation identified gaps in the data review process, leading to immediate corrective and preventive actions. The error was resolved before batch release, avoiding potential regulatory criticism and ensuring patient safety. My proactive approach demonstrated my commitment to quality and GMP standards. See? By using the STAR method, you've clearly demonstrated your attention to detail, your ability to communicate effectively, and your commitment to teamwork. Let's put a different slant on that last question with our next scenario. Can you tell us about a time you have noticed an error in your own work? What did you do? We all make mistakes, right? It's how we learn and grow. But admitting our blunders in an interview can feel scary. But don't worry. It shows the panel you are self-aware and reliable, provided you clearly demonstrate your commitment to doing things right. So let's answer this using the STAR method. While preparing an annual product quality review for a high-risk sterile injectable, I realized that I had missed including an important set of data related to temperature excursions during distribution. The omission was discovered during the final QA review, just days before the report submission deadline. My objective was to address the error quickly and ensure the APQR was accurate and comprehensive to maintain compliance with regulatory expectations. I immediately took ownership of the oversight and informed the QA manager about the missing data, whilst contributing to the resultant deviation. I collaborated with the logistics and supply chain team to gather the temperature excursion records and ensure the data was accurate, complete, and up to date. Once I retrieved the missing information, I updated the APQR and cross-checked the revised sections to ensure all data were accurate. To avoid delaying submission, I worked additional hours to complete the revisions and coordinated with QA for a second review. To prevent similar errors in the future, I developed a detailed checklist and template for APQR preparation that included a specific step for verifying distribution data. I also shared this checklist with the wider team to enhance our collective documentation process and raised a change control to adopt the checklist into the quality system. The revised APQR was submitted on time and met all required standards. My manager appreciated my proactive handling of the situation and the improvements I introduced to the documentation process, which have since been adopted across the team. See? In this answer, you've shown honesty, proactiveness, and a willingness to learn from your mistakes. And moving on to our last question. You notice a member of the team struggling with an important task. What do? Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. Interviewers love to see that you're a team player, so here's how to showcase this using the STAR method. While working in a sterile production environment, I noticed that a new team member was struggling to follow aseptic gowning procedures correctly. They were frequently flagged by the line manager for contamination risks during gowning checks, which was causing delays in the production schedule and frustration for the staff member. My goal was to support the new team member to improve their gowning technique and reduce contamination risks without affecting the overall team's productivity or negatively impacting their confidence. I approached the team member during a break and asked how they were finding the gowning process. They admitted that they found the steps confusing and felt rushed to complete them under time pressure. I offered to spend additional time with them after the shift to walk through the gowning SOP step by step. During the session, I demonstrated each step slowly, explaining the rationale behind it, such as preventing contamination risks during sterile operations. I also observed their technique and gave constructive feedback on areas to improve. Additionally, I suggested we schedule a few practice sessions in the gowning area during non-production hours to help them gain confidence. I documented the additional training in the staff members' training log as evidence of additional supervised support. Within a few weeks, the team members' gowning compliance improved significantly, and they were no longer flagged during checks. The line manager noticed the improvement and appreciated the time I invested in coaching them. The experience also strengthened the team's trust and collaboration in maintaining GMP standards, and boosted the staff members' confidence in an area they were struggling. By using the STAR method, you've demonstrated your teamwork skills, your empathy, and your problem-solving abilities. So there you have it. The STAR method is a powerful tool for acing those tricky interview questions. Be sure to remember these key tips, and make sure you prepare. Try and think of genuine examples you can use during interviews. Keep it relevant, so try and tailor your examples to the specific skills and qualities outlined in the job description. You need to focus on your actions. So highlight what you specifically did in each situation, showcasing your own skills and experience. And lastly, be positive and enthusiastic. If you do this, your passion and energy will shine through. Finally, practice makes perfect. Now that you're a STAR storyteller, it's time to practice. Think about the types of questions you might be asked and prepare some examples using the STAR method before your interview. Practice, practice, practice. Video yourself and watch it back. Try and avoid filler words like ums and ahs, Watch your responses and consider your body language. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Remember, preparation is key. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on future videos like this. Finally, good luck. You've got this. GMP. Today we're highlighting the role of the releasing officer. The releasing officer ensures pharmaceutical products and healthcare goods are safe, effective, and compliant with regulatory standards. This role is vital for maintaining supply chain integrity and public health. Let's delve into the key responsibilities of the releasing officer. They are required to conduct thorough reviews of batch records, test results, and deviation reports to ensure compliance with GMP standards. Approving batches that meet all quality criteria, ensuring deviations are resolved. They ensure all processes comply with GMP, regulatory submissions, and all other relevant standards. They must also maintain accurate records of all released batches for traceability. Another key part of their role is investigating deviations and, where appropriate, implementing corrective actions. They must be able to work closely with other departments to ensure seamless batch release, while providing updates to stakeholders on batch release status when required. And finally, they are responsible for enhancing efficiency and accuracy in the batch release process, all while staying compliant with GMP and the marketing authorization. The releasing officer relies on various types of documentation and systems to perform their duties effectively. These typically are batch records. These are detailed records of each production batch, including raw materials, production processes, and quality control tests. Deviation reports. These are documented deviations from SOPs or quality specs, including root cause analysis and CAPA. Quality control test results. This is evidence of all quality control inspections and tests on packaging materials and consumables, raw materials, in-process materials, and finished products. Training records of operators to ensure they are validated and authorized to carry out the manufacture. And lastly, the EQMS, which is the software system for managing quality processes, document control, CAPA, and audits, and all other aspects of the quality management system. To excel as a releasing officer, you need technical expertise and attention to detail. A degree in pharmacy, chemistry, biology, or a related field is typically required, while certifications in quality assurance or regulatory affairs are beneficial. Experience in quality assurance, control, or regulatory affairs is essential. Familiarity with batch record review and GMP regulations is crucial, as are a keen eye for detail and strong analytical skills. And it goes without saying, excellent communication skills to collaborate with teams and update stakeholders are a must. The releasing officer ensures only products meeting the highest standards reach the market. As the final checkpoint, they protect public health and maintain healthcare integrity. The releasing officer role offers numerous opportunities for career growth. You can advance to senior positions like quality assurance manager, head of quality, or even a qualified person. If you would like to find out more about these roles, check out our playlist detailing other roles in pharmaceutical manufacturing and GMP. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Weight loss drugs like Aseptic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 receptor agonists are making headlines as groundbreaking solutions for obesity and diabetes. But behind the buzz lies a serious question. Are you putting your health at risk by buying from untrusted sources? It's no secret these medications are in high demand, but when demand outpaces supply, some people turn to unregulated online suppliers or other black market sources. These may look legitimate, but the truth is chilling. The so-called cheap alternatives often lack proper quality controls, safety checks, or even the active ingredients they claim to contain. The result? You could be injecting yourself with something completely ineffective, or worse, something that will cause you harm, potentially putting your life at risk. When you buy medications from unregulated sources, the risks are severe. You might encounter contaminants or toxins that can be harmful, or other drugs which can have serious consequences. Medicines bought from unregulated sources may be stolen or diverted genuine medicines, But when they are incorrectly handled and stored, they can be ineffective if used, or could even have been tampered with. Incorrect dosages that can lead to life-threatening complications depending on the medicine. Fake drugs that don't contain the active ingredient, leaving you unprotected and at risk of worsening health. And let's not forget, counterfeit medicines have no safety testing, no sterility assurance, and no oversight. This is why the pharmaceutical supply chain is so critical. Every dose of the genuine Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 analogues produced by a licensed pharmaceutical company are subject to rigorous quality assurance controls, including strict testing of raw materials purchased from authorized suppliers to ensure purity, manufacture in strictly controlled environments to prevent contamination during production, batch testing to confirm each dose meets safety and efficacy standards. This process is overseen by regulatory authorities like the MHRA in the UK, the FDA in the US, and other medicines regulators in the countries in which they are sold, ensuring every step complies with good manufacturing practices, or GMP. This isn't just about compliance, it's about protecting lives. Quality assurance is the backbone of pharmaceutical safety and quality. Before a single dose reaches your hands, it's been tested for potency. Does it contain the right amount of active ingredient? Purity? Is it free from contaminants? Stability? Will it remain effective during its shelf life? Safety, especially important for injections. Are they sterile? When you choose legitimate medicines from the regulated supply chain, you're not just paying for a product, you're paying for the peace of mind that every precaution has been taken to protect your health. These risks aren't just hypothetical. In 2022, the World Health Organization reported a significant rise in counterfeit drugs, including weight loss medications, circulating through unregulated sources. One documented case involved patients in the US who unknowingly purchased fake Ozempic online. Testing revealed that these products contained dangerous contaminants, including bacterial toxins, leading to severe infections and hospitalization. Global regulatory authorities, including Great Britain's MHRA, have issued warnings of counterfeit Ozempic pens, seizing almost 400 in the last 2 years, some of which led to patient harm. These cases are a stark reminder that unverified sources can lead to life-threatening health consequences. If you're considering Ozempic or similar medications, consult your healthcare provider and make sure you know the authenticity of the product you're buying and who you're buying it from. Stick to licensed pharmacies and trusted sources. Remember, your health isn't worth the risk. Choose safety, choose trust. Your health depends on it. Stay informed, stay safe, and always choose regulated sources for your medicines. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Help Me GMP for more insights on pharmaceutical safety and compliance. Today we will be discussing the Decentralized and Point-of-Care Manufacture Framework, recently covered by the MHRA. The legislative framework will officially come into effect in the summer of 2025. This legislation creates a legal framework for decentralized manufacturing, allowing innovations such as point-of-care manufacture or mobile and modular production units to operate within new regulatory boundaries. The MHRA is preparing guidance to support stakeholders in complying with these changes. The MHRA defines 4 primary models. These are point-of-care manufacturing, which is where products are manufactured on site near the patient, such as in operating theaters or battlefields, often for single-use and extremely short shelf-life products where manufacture away from the point of administration would be unfeasible. Then there's modular manufacture, which involves portable units designed for rapid deployment, such as during pandemics or in rural locations, and operate for a period of time. These units can deploy manufacturing facilities locally instead of relying solely on central factories. Next is mobile manufacture. Similar to modular manufacture, these units will be transportable, but are anticipated to be moved more regularly than the modular units. The specialist equipment will move to where patients are when it isn't possible to move the patient close to the manufacturing center. Finally, we have home manufacture. This is where products are manufactured in a patient's home. It's likely this will apply to the manufacture of products which are required to be administered regularly or continuously for chronic conditions. In summary, there are several mechanisms which will allow UK pharmaceutical manufacturers to deploy various manufacturing processes to enable delivery of cutting-edge medicines to UK patients. This is a world first, but something other medicines regulators are already considering. The way in which these various decentralized manufacturing products will be authorized is via a new regulatory requirement for this type of product, the Decentralized Manufacture Master File, or DMMF. This will act as a centralized document describing all arrangements for controlling the manufacturing sites and processes, whether mobile or fixed, by a single reference site. Key requirements of the DMMF include product specifications, site-specific arrangements including site onboarding and decommissioning, oversight mechanisms to ensure compliance, and the approach to qualification and validation of the systems and processes required to deliver these products in a consistent and safe manner. Critical controls of starting materials, process analytical technology, or in-process controls, which may be used to establish the manufacturing process has been completed successfully, will also be required. The DMMF enables decentralized manufacturing operations by removing the need for the addition of a manufacturing site to a manufacturing license, or indeed the removal of a manufacturing site. Such variations would be impossible for the decentralized manufacturing model, both for the manufacturer and the MHRA. The legislation allows decentralized manufacture to be deployed in an agile way, while still maintaining appropriate levels of control and oversight. The quality, safety, and efficacy of the medicines manufactured using these methods is paramount, and should not be compromised by the novel approach to manufacture. The control site or hub will oversee compliance and quality assurance across all manufacturing sites, whether point-of-care, mobile or modular units which may be deployed in the field. Given some examples used have included battlefields, this may allow a UK manufacturer to manage a manufacturing site in a different territory. This will undoubtedly present additional regulatory challenges, given there will be crossover with the domestic legislation in the country where manufacture takes place. So let's watch this space. Spoke sites, such as bedside or hospital-based production units, do not require individual manufacturing licenses. Instead, they operate under the Control Sites Oversight, Manufacturing License and DMMF. Responsibilities of the central control sites include process validation, equipment qualification and maintenance, personnel training for remote locations, DMMF updates and site inspections, ongoing oversight of the manufacturing sites and equipment, pharmacovigilance obligations. To qualify for decentralized manufacture, products must meet specific legal tests. Point-of-care manufacturing products must only be manufactured at the site of administration, where shelf life limitations or unique manufacturing requirements or product characteristics mandate this. For modular manufacture, deployment must address operational needs, such as pandemic response, synchronized manufacturing and patient preparation, or avoiding cryopreservation steps where they are detrimental to product quality, safety, or efficacy. Mobile manufacture may be required in similar circumstances, but patient numbers may be small and therefore a mobile service may be optimal. Home manufacture is likely to be necessary where patients require a continuous supply of a medicine, which is unfeasible to collect routinely from their local pharmacy or home care provider, for example. It should be noted, cost saving alone or convenience for patients do not qualify as justifications for decentralized manufacture applications. The MHRA aims to create a system that is enabling, enduring, and proportionate. Enabling supports innovation without stifling progress, allowing for rapid deployment of novel new systems where scale-up is not possible. Enduring reduces the need for frequent legislative changes as more manufacturing sites are required to fulfill patient demand. Proportionate ensures regulations are robust but not overly restrictive. Simplifications include not requiring the specific naming of individual locations as manufacturing sites to accommodate their transient nature, and new modules may be deployed or relocated without the need for an on-site inspection prior to beginning manufacture. Of course, this will require robust controls in terms of pre-manufacture qualification, which must be described in the DMMF. The MHRA is collaborating with international regulators via the International Coalition of Medicines regulatory authorities. A December 2024 workshop included input from regulators in the EU, US, and Japan. Topics discussed included shared terminology, regulatory approaches, and comparability frameworks. While local legal requirements may differ, the MHRA aims for aligned global expectations to reduce barriers for innovators entering multiple markets. Enhanced pharmacovigilance systems will be required for decentralized manufacturing, including batch-specific adverse event monitoring, signal detection at the site and batch level, oversight by the qualified person, or QP, and responsible individuals to ensure consistency across decentralized sites. Flexibility in terms of labeling requirements for extremely short shelf life products, although all batch numbers must be recorded and linked to adverse event reports to ensure traceability and safety. The MHRA is developing technical and administrative guidelines which will be released before the framework takes effect in summer 2025. Upcoming activities include an in-person workshop in March 2025 to engage with stakeholders. A second webinar closer to the July implementation date to provide updates and answer additional questions is also planned. These guidelines will be supplementary to existing regulatory frameworks such as GMP annexes. Decentralized manufacture involves not just regulatory readiness, but also institutional readiness. Healthcare institutions, such as hospitals and the NHS, must adapt to integrate these technologies in collaboration with manufacturers and clinical trial sponsors. Collaboration with organizations like NICE, the Care Quality Commission, and the General Medical Council is essential. Institutional readiness also ensures smooth adoption of disruptive technologies, such as bedside manufacturing, while maintaining patient safety and care quality. Let us know what you think of the new changes in the comments below. If you liked this video, subscribe for future videos when we break down these changes in more detail. See you again soon. Have you ever walked out of an interview thinking, I could have answered that better? Or worse, what was I even saying? In the world of GMP, pharma, and quality, interviews aren't just about what you know. They're about how you present yourself from start to finish. Today we're diving deep into the essential do's and don'ts, including what to wear, so you can confidently ace your next interview and land that dream role. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for expert advice on GMP, compliance, and career growth. Let's start with the do's. You should research the company and role thoroughly. Before your interview, explore the company's website. Read their About Us page, and check out recent news or press releases. Knowing their mission and values shows you're genuinely interested and that you've done your homework. Try and look for case studies, industry awards, or testimonials that reveal how they uphold GMP standards. This insight helps you tailor your responses to match their focus and priorities. Identify the key responsibilities and skills required. You should prepare examples from your past experience that align with the role, whether it's deviation management, process improvement, or ensuring compliance. You should brush up on key GMP concepts by reviewing critical topics like contamination control, validation, calibration, and data integrity. Even if you're not an expert on every regulation, being conversant in the basics boosts your confidence during the interview. Be ready to share concrete examples, maybe a time you managed a deviation or contributed to a quality improvement initiative. Real-world examples demonstrate your hands-on experience. Keep an eye on recent changes in GMP regulations and emerging trends in pharmaceuticals or biotech. Mentioning these in the interview shows that you're proactive about your professional development. Present yourself professionally from start to finish. Your attire is a key part of your first impression. For traditional environments, opt for business formal or smart business casual outfits. For example, men, a well-fitted suit or blazer with a dress shirt, and tie if the culture is more formal. Women, a tailored blazer paired with dress pants or a professional dress. Even in virtual interviews, dressing professionally from head to toe is important. You never know when you might need to stand up. Your outfit should reinforce your image as detail-oriented, reliable, and professional. Ensure your clothes are clean, pressed, and well-fitted. Grooming is key. Neat hair, minimal jewelry, and appropriate makeup, if applicable, can make a big difference. Body language is important. You should maintain eye contact, offer a firm handshake if the situation feels right, and use positive gestures. Confident and open body language conveys reliability and professionalism. You should aim to arrive at least 10 to 15 minutes early. This extra time allows you to review your notes, settle in, and mentally prepare for the interview itself. Now let's move on to what not to do. Firstly, do not give vague answers. In GMP, precision matters. If asked about handling deviations, avoid a generic answer like, "I followed SOPs." Instead, detail the specific steps you took and the impact your actions had. Next, you should never badmouth previous employers. Even if your previous experience was challenging, remain professional. Focus on the lessons you learned and how you turned those challenges into opportunities for growth. You should also never neglect soft skills. While technical knowledge is crucial, your ability to communicate and work in teams is equally important. Make sure your responses highlight both your technical expertise and your interpersonal skills. When given the chance to ask questions, make them count. Thoughtful questions not only show your engagement, but also help you assess whether the company is the right fit for you. You could ask something like, how does your company support continuous GMP training and development? What challenges is your production team currently facing? What does success look like in this role after 6 months? Interviews are a two-way street. It's not just about them choosing you, but about you choosing the right workplace too. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a like and share it with someone preparing for an interview. Remember, precision in GMP extends beyond processes. It applies to your professional presentation as well. Go into your next interview prepared, confident, and dressed for success. For more insights on GMP compliance and career growth, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you in the next video.
Welcome to Help Me GMP. Today, we'll be focusing on another critical component, internal audits. Internal audits are a key element of the quality management system, or QMS, in the pharmaceutical industry. They are systematic, independent evaluations conducted to determine two things, although these are often evaluated simultaneously. The first is whether internal systems comply with regulatory requirements. The second is whether internal activity complies with the internal systems and are completed to a satisfactory standard. In the video today, we will share with you in detail what the key elements of an internal audit are to help you implement this within your own facility to ensure regulatory success. Let's break down the key elements of internal audits. First, audit planning. The audit process begins with planning, where the scope, standards against which the audit will be performed, and audit objectives are defined. This should be carried out in line with the approved audit schedule to ensure all areas of the business are reviewed regularly. Next, audit preparation. Auditors prepare for the audit by reviewing relevant documents, previous audit reports, and action plans. This preparation helps identify key areas of focus and potential issues to be probed during the audit. Then, audit execution. The audit is conducted on-site, where auditors evaluate processes, interview personnel, and review records. They gather evidence to determine compliance with regulatory requirements and the QMS, and identify areas for improvement. Following that, audit reporting. After the audit, auditors compile their findings into a detailed report. This report highlights non-conformances, observations, and recommendations for best practice. It is shared with management and relevant departments for review. Next, action plan, where non-conformances are identified, corrective and preventive actions, or CAPA, are developed and implemented to address the issues. This should involve identifying root causes, establishing and implementing CAPA, and verifying their effectiveness. Depending on the non-conformance, a deviation may be required to assess the impact on any previous batches, and identify the root cause of the non-conformance where this would be beneficial. Then, follow-up. Follow-up audits are conducted to ensure that corrective actions have been implemented and are effective. This step is crucial for maintaining continuous improvement and compliance. Internal audits are vital for several reasons. First, ensuring compliance. They verify that processes and activities comply with regulatory requirements and internal standards. This is a mandatory requirement of Chapter 9 of EU GMP. Second, identifying risks. They help identify potential risks and areas of non-compliance, allowing organizations to address issues before they escalate. Third, improving quality. They drive continuous improvement by highlighting best practices and areas for improvement. And finally, enhancing accountability. They promote accountability and responsibility among employees and departments, by ensuring that everyone adheres to established procedures and standards. Effective internal audits are essential for maintaining a robust quality management system and ensuring the quality and compliance of pharmaceutical products. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content.
Welcome to Help Me GMP. Have you ever wondered how medicines are made? Well, it's actually a long and tricky journey, with years of research, development, and testing. But what if we said there are teams working tirelessly behind the scenes, called Contract Development and Manufacturing Organizations, or CDMOs? Simply put, a CDMO is a company that teams up with medicine suppliers to help develop and manufacture medicines on their behalf. They're like an extension of the medicine supplier's own teams, providing expert knowledge and resources at different stages of drug development. CDMOs are extremely important in supplying medicines to patients globally. CDMOs offer lots of services, including development of new active ingredients, including synthesis and manufacturing products for preclinical studies, design and optimization of manufacturing and testing processes to make sure they're efficient and can be scaled up. They develop medicines by creating stable and effective formulations for different routes of administration, like tablets, capsules, injections, and more. They provide analytical services such as quality control tests and make sure everything is of the required quality. They start by making small batches of medicines for testing in clinical trials. As the trial develops, batch sizes will likely increase as more product is required for larger trials and higher doses. And lastly, once a drug is approved, CDMOs can scale up to commercial manufacturing, utilizing their large-scale production and packaging capabilities. Imagine a small company developing a new cancer treatment. They have a great idea and promising early results, but they don't have the facilities, equipment, or expertise to make the medicines for clinical trials to GMP standards. That's where a CDMO comes in. The CDMO can help the small company develop a manufacturing process that can be scaled up, produce the drug safely, and even package and label it for clinical use, importantly meeting the requirements of GMP. This lets the small company focus on research, leaving the tricky manufacturing to the experts. Big pharmaceutical companies also benefit from working with CDMOs. For example, a big company might outsource the manufacturing of a specific drug to a CDMO with specialist expertise. This can save them money, improve efficiency, and give them access to cutting-edge technology without big investments. So why would you choose a CDMO? To help that decision, we will compare two companies. Company A is a brand new biotech company with innovative ideas for a revolutionary diabetes treatment. But they're on a tight budget and don't have the resources to build a big manufacturing facility. Company B is a huge pharmaceutical company with many drugs, looking to save money on production for a popular pain relief medication. They have their own manufacturing plants, but are looking for ways to be more cost-effective and access specialized expertise. Even though they're very different, both companies can benefit from using a CDMO. Company A can use the CDMO's facilities and expertise to get their new treatment to clinical trial and maybe even to market much faster. They can focus on research, leaving the manufacturing to the CDMO. Company B, even with their own plants, might find it cheaper to outsource production of their pain medication to a specialized CDMO. This lets them use their resources for other important things like research and development of new drugs or marketing and sales. This shows how CDMOs offer flexibility, meeting the unique needs of companies of all sizes in the pharmaceutical world. You may wonder what is the importance of GMP and quality within CDMO operations. Good manufacturing practice, or GMP, is a set of rules that ensure the quality and safety of medicines. CDMOs must follow strict GMP standards in everything they do, from selection and purchase of raw materials to manufacture and release of the final product. GMP ensures that drugs are made consistently and meet the required quality standards for patient safety. National medicines regulatory agencies like the FDA in the US and the MHRA in the UK have strict GMP guidelines that all manufacturers, including CDMOs, must follow strictly. CDMOs invest a lot of time, resource and money into quality assurance and GMP compliance. Because CDMOs have several contracts, They can provide economies of scale that a single product facility could not provide. CDMO facilities must be designed and maintained to meet the highest standards for GMP compliance. They may operate larger-scale equipment due to their diversity across several clients' requirements. CDMOs employ highly skilled and trained people who are experts in their fields. CDMOs undergo regular audits and inspections by authorities and clients to ensure ongoing compliance. By upholding these high-quality standards, CDMOs play a critical role in protecting public health and ensuring safe and effective medications for patients worldwide. The CDMO industry is always changing to keep up with new technology and market demands. Here are some key market trends we have observed. CDMOs are focusing on specific areas like generic oral solid doses, biologics manufacturing, or highly potent drug production. They are adopting new technology with things like continuous manufacturing. Artificial intelligence and automation are changing CDMO operations, making things more efficient and less expensive. The rise of personalized medicine creates a need for CDMOs that can handle small batches of customized treatments. The CDMO market is growing worldwide, with areas like Asia-Pacific offering big growth opportunities. These trends offer both opportunities and challenges for CDMOs. To stay competitive, they need to invest in innovation, expand their capabilities, and adapt to the changing needs of the pharmaceutical industry. Choosing the right CDMO is crucial. It's a big decision. When choosing a CDMO, you must consider several things. Choose a CDMO with a proven track record in the specific area you need help with, whether it's creating formulations, clinical trial manufacturing, or commercial production. Make sure the CDMO follows all the GMP regulations and has a strong quality system relevant to the market you wish to supply. Consider your current and future manufacturing needs and choose a CDMO that can handle your growth within their capacity model. Good communication and a strong working relationship are essential for a successful partnership. Responsibilities of each party should be clearly laid out in a quality technical agreement. While cost is important, it shouldn't be the only thing you consider. Look at the overall value, including expertise, quality, and reliability. Finding the right CDMO is like finding a good partner. It takes careful thought. But when you find the right one, the benefits can be huge, helping you develop medicines faster, reduce costs, and get life-saving treatments to patients sooner. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to the Help Me GMP channel. Did you know that over 60% of employers in technical fields use behavioral questions to assess candidates' values? This is why we believe mastering the STAR method is key to providing structured and compelling answers that highlight your real-world experience. But you already know that from our other videos in the series, so let's jump into today's questions and answers structured using the STAR method. Can you tell me about a time when you had to ensure the accuracy of chemical analysis under tight deadlines? In my role as a QC analyst in a pharmaceutical lab, I was responsible for performing chemical assays on raw materials and finished products. One evening, a batch of active pharmaceutical ingredient samples arrived late due to a supply chain delay, but the production team urgently needed the results to proceed with manufacturing. If the testing wasn't completed by the end of the shift, production would be delayed by 24 hours, resulting in significant financial losses and potential stock shortages for hospitals. I had to ensure that analysis was completed quickly and accurately, without compromising compliance with good manufacturing practices. There was pressure from the production team to expedite the testing, but my main priority was to uphold data integrity, precision, and compliance. Instead of running tests sequentially, I reorganized my workflow to prepare multiple samples at the same time, allowing different analyses to run simultaneously with equipment such as HPLC, Carl Fisher, and UV spectrophotometry. To prevent downtime, I checked that HPLC columns were pre-equilibrated, reagents were freshly prepared, and equipment was fully calibrated before starting the analysis. Knowing that rushing could lead to calculation errors or incorrect peak identification, I double-checked all sample dilutions and had a colleague verify critical calculations before final data submission. I coordinated with the quality assurance team to ensure real-time review of results, allowing for faster approval without waiting until the next shift. Despite the tight deadline, I successfully completed the full analysis with 100% accuracy and compliance within the required time frame. This allowed production to proceed without delay, preventing financial losses and maintaining supply continuity. My proactive approach led to a new SOP for prioritizing urgent testing without compromising quality, and I was later invited to train new analysts on efficient GMP-compliant workflows. Do you find our videos helpful? If so, don't forget to subscribe so you don't ever miss out, and drop us a comment for topics you would like covered. Describe a time when you identified an issue with chemical safety and took action to prevent a potential risk. During a routine shift in an R&D laboratory, I noticed a colleague preparing a new reaction mixture using peroxide-forming solvents and strong oxidizers. From my experience, I immediately recognized that this combination could create an explosive peroxide formation, posing a serious fire and explosion hazard in the fume hood. The risk was compounded by the fact that the THF bottle had not been tested for peroxides before use, violating laboratory safety protocols. I had to intervene immediately to prevent a hazardous reaction while also addressing the underlying safety gap in the lab's practices. Simply stopping the experiment wasn't enough. I needed to ensure that no one made the same mistake in the future. I calmly stopped the procedure and carefully removed the solvent from the reaction setup, ensuring that it was stored safely in a peroxide-inhibited container. I then reported the issue to the lab supervisor and conducted a review of chemical storage and labeling practices. I discovered that several peroxide-forming solvents had exceeded their recommended use period, increasing the risk of crystallization and instability. So, in order to prevent future incidents, I proposed and helped implement a mandatory peroxide testing SOP before using solvents like THF and diethyl ether. I also implemented a color-coded labeling system indicating expiry dates and peroxide risk levels, and a safety refresher training program on incompatible chemicals and risk assessment. My intervention prevented a potential explosion and led to improved chemical safety practices across the department. 6 months later, a safety audit confirmed a 30% improvement in chemical hazard awareness among staff, and my proposed changes were implemented as a standard practice across multiple research sites. Can you give an example of a time when you had to ensure sterility compliance in a challenging situation? While performing routine environmental monitoring in a Grade A aseptic filling zone, I detected an unexpected microbial excursion on a settle plate positioned near a critical filling zone. The microorganism was a gram-positive cocci species, indicating a potential human contamination source. Given that the product was a sterile injectable, any contamination posed a serious patient safety risk. My role was to investigate the contamination source, mitigate the risk, and ensure production compliance with GMP sterility requirements. I also needed to implement corrective actions without causing unnecessary downtime or delaying product release. I immediately conducted a trend analysis of past EM data and reviewed recent operator aseptic techniques, airflow dynamics, and cleaning practices. Then, after reviewing video footage from the cleanroom, I identified a minor deviation in gowning technique. An operator had adjusted their face mask after gloving, which could have introduced contamination. I then escalated the issue to the quality assurance team and quarantined the affected area for a full decontamination cycle. Additional settle plates were placed to confirm effective cleaning. I developed a new gowning retraining session focusing on behaviors that could lead to contamination. And I also introduced real-time aseptic audits where operators were observed and given immediate feedback. Lastly, I collaborated with engineering to assess whether airflow dynamics needed adjustment. The root cause was successfully identified and addressed, preventing potential product contamination. The retraining initiative resulted in a 40% reduction in gowning-related deviations over 6 months. The quality assurance team recognized my approach as a best practice, and it was later included in site-wide sterility assurance training. Describe a time when you had to work as part of a team to improve a laboratory process. At my previous job, our microbiology lab frequently faced delays in sterility testing due to inefficiencies in media preparation. This not only caused frustration among the lab team, but also delayed product release schedules. As part of a cross-functional improvement team, I was responsible for identifying the root causes of the delays and implementing solutions to streamline the process. Action. I started by mapping out the entire media preparation process, from ordering raw materials to sterilization and storage. We discovered that inconsistent autoclave cycles and poor inventory management were the primary issues. I worked with the facilities team to optimize autoclave settings and introduced a new inventory management system to ensure that media components were always in stock. Additionally, I collaborated with the team to create a standardized preparation protocol and organize training sessions for all lab staff to ensure consistency. The changes reduced media preparation time by 30% and improved the reliability of sterility testing. The team's morale also improved as the process became more efficient, and we received positive feedback from management for our efforts. Always remember that values-based questions are an opportunity to showcase your problem-solving, teamwork, and commitment to quality. Use the STAR method to provide detailed and structured answers that highlight not only what you did, but also the impact of your actions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more free educational videos from the world of pharmaceutical manufacturing with Help Me GMP. Ever felt overwhelmed by the alphabet soup of pharmaceutical compliance? What exactly are the ICHQ series guidelines and why should they matter to you? Stick around because today we're demystifying every single ICH quality guideline and summarizing the other key safety, efficacy, and multidisciplinary ICH guidelines to set you up for compliance success. Before we dive deeper, let's quickly recap why understanding ICH guidelines is crucial. ICH stands for the International Council for Harmonization of Technical Requirements for Pharmaceuticals for Human Use. Founded in 1990, it's a global initiative bringing together regulatory authorities and pharmaceutical industry leaders to streamline and harmonize standards worldwide, making it easier and faster for medicines to safely reach patients everywhere. Within each section of the ICH guidelines, you'll see different subsections. We're not covering all of them now, but don't worry, we'll come back to these sections in future videos. Make sure you subscribe and enable notifications to hear about the new content when it lands. First up, we have Q1, Stability Testing of New Drug Substances and Products. This guideline explains how you ensure your medicines remain safe, potent, and effective throughout their entire shelf life. Next is Q2, Analytical Validation. This crucial standard lays down clear criteria for validating the analytical methods you use in testing your pharmaceuticals, ensuring accuracy and reliability. Then we have Q3, Impurities in New Drug Products and Substances. This guideline sets clear rules for identifying, reporting, and controlling any impurities, protecting patient safety from expected and unexpected contaminants. Following that is Q4, Pharmacopoeias, designed to standardize drug quality standards globally, making sure your product consistently meets regulatory expectations across different regions. If you'd like to know more, there is a summary of what this means internationally in the Q4B FAQs. ICH Q5 focuses specifically on biotechnology products, detailing how to ensure the quality, consistency, and safety of biotechnology-derived medications, vital in today's pharmaceutical landscape. Next up is Q6, Specifications for Test Procedures and Acceptance Criteria. This ensures everyone in the industry is on the same page regarding acceptable limits and testing methods, promoting uniform quality. There's some really useful flowcharts in this guideline to help with decisions relating to impurities. Then, Q7 provides guidance on good manufacturing practice for active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs, essential for maintaining consistency and high-quality production standards at every step. Depending on the territory the API is destined for, this may be relevant, or you may need to refer to EU GMP Part 2, which is similar to Q7, but with some subtle but important differences. Q8 describes pharmaceutical development. This defines the expectations for your development processes, outlining exactly how products should be developed and documented. This and the next two guidelines introduced the concept of the design space, QTPPs and CQAs. There's some really detailed PowerPoint presentations and other training materials available from the ICH website describing this and the next few guidelines. Look in the Q8, 9 or 10 guidelines to find these. These three guidelines should be viewed as a group as they all interact with one another. With Q9, quality risk management principles are required. A risk-based approach to pharmaceutical quality, allowing you to identify potential issues early and prevent costly problems later on. Q10, Pharmaceutical Quality System, integrates a comprehensive quality management system throughout the product lifecycle, from initial development right through to production and distribution. Q11 addresses the development and manufacture of drug substances, covering both scientific and regulatory considerations crucial for effectively manufacturing active substances. This guideline is relatively old and should therefore be considered against the other more recently published guidelines. Lifecycle management is covered by Q12, guiding you on managing CMC changes post-approval, ensuring continued compliance, quality, and adaptability. Q13 is continuous manufacturing of drug substances and drug products. details how you can implement continuous manufacturing methods to optimize efficiency and quality. Lastly, Q14, Analytical Procedure Development, provides a structured approach to developing robust analytical testing procedures, ensuring you have reliable, repeatable methods for quality control. Unsurprisingly, this links closely to Q2 regarding the method validation. Here is a brief overview of the other guidelines that may be applicable to you. Firstly, safety guidelines are there to protect patient safety, covering topics like drug toxicity, carcinogenicity, and pharmacokinetics. For example, the S1 guideline focuses specifically on carcinogenicity studies to ensure long-term patient safety. Next are the efficacy guidelines. These guidelines set the standards for conducting clinical trials effectively and safely. A great example is E6, Good Clinical Practice, which outlines how to conduct clinical trials ethically and reliably and originate from the Declaration of Helsinki. Lastly are the multidisciplinary guidelines. These guidelines apply across various areas of pharmaceutical development and manufacturing, like managing electronic common technical dossier submissions, or ECTD. They're particularly important because they bridge multiple disciplines, ensuring uniform practices and clear communication among regulatory bodies, manufacturers, and other stakeholders involved throughout the product lifecycle. Remember, ICH guidelines aren't just rules, they're powerful tools that help you uphold product quality, patient safety, and regulatory compliance. Mastering these standards ensures smoother operations, greater efficiency, and successful product launches. Now that the mystery is solved, which guideline are you working on right now? Let us know in the comments. For more clarity on GMP, GDP, and regulatory topics, don't forget to subscribe and explore our channel.
Do you really know what GMP is? Well, stick with us and by the end of this video you will. Good manufacturing practice, or GMP, is a system for ensuring that medicinal products are consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards. It's designed to minimize the risks associated with the pharmaceutical production rather than relying on final product testing. GMP covers all aspects of production, from the starting materials to suppliers, premises, equipment, to the training of staff and hygiene practices. Patient safety is paramount, and GMP is the bedrock of ensuring that medicines are safe and effective. It builds trust and confidence in the pharmaceutical industry, guaranteeing that products meet stringent quality requirements. Following GMP guidelines is not just a good idea, it's a legal and ethical obligation for manufacturers. GMP regulations provide a framework for manufacturers to follow, ensuring consistent quality across the pharmaceutical sector. These regulations are internationally recognised and adopted, creating a harmonised approach to drug production worldwide. Adherence to GMP helps prevent instances of contamination, mix-ups and errors which could have serious consequences for patients. By focusing on preventative measures, GMP minimises the risk of defects and deviations from expected quality standards. The aim is to produce medicines that are fit for their intended use, consistently delivering the therapeutic benefit they promise. GMP is not a static concept. It's a consistently evolving system that adapts to advancements in technology and scientific understanding. Regular updates and revisions ensure that guidelines remain relevant and effective in addressing emerging challenges. The industry's commitment to continuous improvement is reflected in the ongoing refinement of GMP principles. This dynamic approach allows GMP to stay ahead of potential risks and maintain the highest standards of quality in pharmaceutical manufacturing. GMP is a cornerstone of public health, protecting patients and ensuring the integrity of the medicines they rely on. The importance of GMP cannot be overstated. It's a fundamental system that underpins the safety and efficacy of medicinal products. By adhering to GMP, manufacturers demonstrate their commitment to producing high-quality medicines that meet the needs of patients and healthcare professionals. This commitment fosters trust and confidence in the pharmaceutical industry, ensuring that patients receive the medications that they need without compromise. GMP is not merely a set of rules, it's a philosophy that prioritises patient well-being above all else. But what are the core principles? Well, GMP encompasses a wide range of activities within the pharmaceutical manufacturing process. Clearly defined procedures and documentation are essential components of good manufacturing practice, providing a traceable record of every step in the production process. This meticulous record keeping allows for thorough investigations in case of any deviations, quality issues or regulatory audits. Proper documentation ensures that processes are consistently followed and that any errors or deviations can be traced back to their source. There are various document types which play a critical role in GMP compliance. Firstly, standing operating procedures, which are detailed documents that outline the exact steps for performing a task consistently and correctly. Then we have batch manufacturing records, which provide a step-by-step record for each batch, including raw materials used, processing parameters, and quality control checks. Cleaning and sanitization records ensure that equipment and environments meet the required hygiene standards. Equipment logs track maintenance, calibration, and routine checks to ensure that equipment operates within validated parameters. Training records document personnel qualifications, training programs, and competency assessments to verify that staff are suitably trained. Deviation reports and CAPA records document any deviations from approved procedures and outline the corrective actions that were taken. The change control documents manage any modification to processes, equipment, or documentation to ensure proper evaluation before implementation. Validation and qualification documents confirm that processes, equipment, and systems perform as intended under real operating conditions. And lastly, environmental monitoring records track data from controlled environments, ensuring compliance with cleanroom and sterility requirements. A well-structured quality management system, or QMS, forms the backbone of GMP, ensuring that all activities are systematically controlled, monitored, and continuously improved. Quality assurance focuses on preventing defects and ensuring compliance with GMP regulations, whereas quality control is involved in testing raw materials, in-process samples, and finished products to ensure that they meet specifications. Quality risk management is the process that identifies, evaluates, and mitigates potential risks to product quality. And lastly, the pharmaceutical quality system ensures that GMP principles are embedded in every stage of production, from procurement to final release. Qualified and trained personnel are crucial for implementing GMP effectively. Without well-trained staff, even the most detailed procedures and well-designed facilities cannot ensure compliance. GMP mandates that all personnel be qualified for their roles and regularly trained to stay up to date with evolving regulations and best practices. Regular training programs ensure that staff are familiar with the current GMP expectations and they fully understand the reasoning behind compliance measures. This investment in human capital is essential for maintaining a high level of quality and compliance. Properly trained personnel are the backbone of any successful GMP system, ensuring that procedures are followed diligently and consistently. Their expertise and attention to detail are vital for preventing errors, identifying risks, and maintaining product integrity. Training records provide documented evidence that employees have received appropriate instruction, covering topics such as hygiene practices, contamination control, equipment operation, and regulatory requirements. Facilities and equipment must adhere to strict standards to prevent contamination and cross-contamination. The physical environment where pharmaceutical products are manufactured plays a crucial role in ensuring product safety and efficacy. Facilities must be designed with GMP principles in mind, incorporating controlled workflows, segregated areas for different production stages, and appropriate ventilation and filtration systems. Regular maintenance, cleaning, and calibration are essential to assure that equipment operates within specified parameters. Equipment must be validated and regularly requalified to confirm that it continues to function as expected. Clean rooms and controlled environments are critical for maintaining the sterility of certain products, especially in aseptic manufacturing. These areas require rigorous environmental monitoring, which involves airborne particle monitoring to assess the air cleanliness, microbial monitoring to detect potential contamination, temperature and humidity control to maintain optimal conditions, differential pressure monitoring to ensure proper airflow control between clean zones, proper facility design coupled with robust environmental monitoring systems helps minimize risks and ensure compliance with GMP standards. Supplier and raw material control. The quality of a finished product depends on the quality of its raw materials, excipients and packaging. GMP mandates strict supplier qualification and material control, including approved supplier lists, which ensure that raw materials are sourced from reliable GMP-compliant suppliers. Material specifications and testing, verifying that all incoming materials meet predefined quality standards before use. Supplier audits and quality agreements, such as on-site supplier audits and establishing quality agreements to ensure consistent quality. A robust supply chain management helps prevent contamination, ensure batch-to-batch consistency, and safeguard product integrity. To guarantee that products meet their intended specifications, GMP requires process validation and equipment qualification. Process validation ensures that manufacturing processes consistently produce high-quality products by demonstrating repeatability and control. Cleaning validation confirms that cleaning procedures effectively remove residues and prevent cross-contamination. Equipment qualification verifies that equipment is properly installed, operates correctly, and performs as intended under real conditions. These validation activities are critical for maintaining product safety, efficacy, and regulatory compliance. Documentation is the cornerstone of GMP, providing a comprehensive record of all manufacturing activities. Batch records, which document the entire production history of a specified batch of medicine, are crucial for traceability and investigation. These records provide evidence of compliance with GMP requirements and allow for the identification of potential issues. Comprehensive documentation ensures accountability and transparency throughout the manufacturing process. It provides a clear audit trail that can be used to verify compliance, support regulatory inspections, and identify areas for continuous improvement. GMP emphasizes the principle of, if it isn't documented, it didn't happen, highlighting the importance of accurate real-time record keeping. Make no mistake, no manufacturing system is perfect, and GMP ensures that mechanisms are in place to address and learn from quality issues. Product complaints. These must be logged, investigated, and assessed for potential risks. Recalls should follow a predefined procedure to remove defective products from the market swiftly and efficiently. Continuous improvement. A key GMP principle that ensures processes, systems, and personnel are regularly reviewed and improved to maintain compliance and product quality. In summary, GMP relies on a combination of well-defined procedures, highly trained personnel, state-of-the-art facilities, meticulous documentation, and continuous improvement. These core principles create a robust system that ensures safety, efficacy, and quality of pharmaceutical products, ultimately protecting public health. If you found this video useful, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, as it really does help us help you. Why not check out another one of our videos by clicking the link here. Thank you.
Welcome back to Help Me GMP. Today we're exploring what is QC. Imagine this. You take a medicine expecting it to work, but it doesn't. Or worse, it causes harm because it wasn't tested properly. That's exactly why quality control exists. It's the final checkpoint before a medicine reaches the patient, making sure every batch is safe, effective, and exactly as it should be. But how does it actually work? What kind of tests are done? And what high-tech equipment is used to make sure these medicines meet the highest standards?
Let's look at the basics. Quality control is the process of checking that medicines meet the required quality standards before they ever reach a patient. If pharmaceutical manufacturing was a kitchen, QC would be the taste test. It makes sure everything is just right before it gets served. So what's the difference between quality control and quality assurance? Quality assurance is all about preventing mistakes before they even happen by putting good systems in place. Quality control is product focused. It's about catching mistakes by physically testing the product itself.
You might be wondering, what does a quality control team actually do on a day-to-day basis? Well, their job covers a lot of ground, but here are the key areas. First up, raw material testing. Before manufacturing even starts, quality control checks the raw ingredients to make sure they're up to standard. Because if the ingredients aren't right, the final product won't be right either. Then there's in-process testing. This means taking samples during production to make sure everything stays within limits. So if something's off, it can be corrected early instead of scrapping the whole batch. Next, we've got finished product testing. And this is the big one. Before a batch can be released, quality control runs a full set of tests to double check that it meets all the required specifications. If it fails, it doesn't get released. Simple as that. And finally, there's environmental monitoring. This is especially important in aseptic manufacturing, where quality control teams check things like air quality, water purity, and even surfaces inside the cleanroom. Because when it comes to sterile products, even the tiniest contamination is a big deal. So how do we actually check if a medicine is safe? Well, there are a few different types of testing that QC teams use depending on what they're working with. First, we've got physical testing. This is where we check things like the size, weight, hardness, or even how a tablet dissolves, because a medicine needs to work the same way every single time. Then there's chemical testing. This looks at things like pH, potency, impurity levels, and stability. In other words, is the drug chemically correct? And finally, we have microbiological testing. This is critical for sterile products, making sure they're completely free from bacteria, fungi, or any other contamination. Every single batch has to pass these tests before it can be released. No exceptions. All right, let's talk about the high-tech tools that make all of this possible. First up, high-performance liquid chromatography, or HPLC. This is a key piece of kit in any QC lab. It is used to analyze the purity and potency of a drug, basically making sure the medicine contains exactly what it's supposed to in the right amount. Next, we've got spectrophotometers. These use light to measure the composition of a drug. You'll hear terms like UV-Vis or FTIR spectroscopy. They're used to detect impurities or confirm the identity of a substance. Then there's dissolution testing. These are used to check how quickly a tablet dissolves, simulating what happens in the human body. If a medicine dissolves too fast or too slow, it won't work as intended. Microbial incubators and sterility testing equipment. These are essential for detecting bacteria or fungi in sterile products. If any contamination is found, the entire batch is rejected. And let's not forget about balances and scales, because accurate dosing is everything. A medicine with too much or too little of the active ingredient can be dangerous. Every single one of these machines plays a key role in ensuring patient safety before a product even reaches the market. So why does all of this matter? Because quality control saves lives. Think about it. If a medicine is released with the wrong concentration, if it's contaminated, or it doesn't dissolve properly, the consequences could be deadly. Quality control is the last line of defense. It's there to catch any issues before a product reaches a patient. Without quality control, there will be no trust in medicines. And that's why it's such a critical part of pharmaceutical manufacturing.
Let's have a recap about what we've covered. Quality control is all about testing, making sure medicines are safe, effective, and meet the required standards before they reach patients. It's different from quality assurance. QA focuses on preventing problems. QC focuses on catching them. QC teams test everything from raw materials to finished products checking for purity, potency, and contamination. There are different types of testing: physical, chemical, microbiological, all designed to guarantee patient safety. QC labs use advanced equipment from HPLCs and spectrophotometers to sterility testing equipment and dissolution testers to make sure every batch is perfect. QC is essential to guarantee the quality, safety, and efficacy of the medicines we manufacture. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, why not share it with some colleagues who might benefit from it as well. Like, share, and subscribe to help support the channel and help us continue to grow.
Welcome back to Help Me GMP. Let me hit you with a surprising stat. The pharmaceutical industry generates more greenhouse gases than the entire automotive industry. Shocking, right? And yet we rarely talk about it. But change is happening, quietly, systematically, and yes, even within the GMP regulated spaces. So why should we care? Because sustainability isn't just about corporate image anymore, it's about compliance, efficiency, and responsibility. So if you're working in an aseptic, production, QA, or even cleanroom design, the green conversation is starting to affect you. And in this video, we're breaking it down from a GMP point of view. So let's touch on the main points. Firstly, energy-hungry facilities are really under the spotlight. Let's start with the buildings. Manufacturing facilities, especially aseptic ones, consume a massive amount of energy. With 24/7 HVAC systems, controlled environments, constant pressure cascades, which are all vital, but also very expensive and very carbon heavy. So what's changing? We're seeing facilities move towards BREEAM or LEED certified buildings, with smart HVAC, LED lighting and solar arrays built into the design. In the UK, many new facilities are already factoring this into their footprint. Here's a tough one: single-use plastics. Gowning, syringes, wipes, vial caps, well, almost everything we touch in GMP production is single-use, and well, for good safety reasons as well. But innovators are pushing back. Some sites are trialling reusable cleanroom garments that maintain sterility through validated laundering cycles. Others are working with suppliers to introduce biodegradable packaging for things like buffer bags and overwraps. It's not perfect, but it's progress. Most staff will think, waste, well, that's for estates, or that's for waste contractors. But no, it starts on the cleanroom floor. Some GMP sites are implementing segregated waste streams, even within Grade D and Grade C cleanrooms. We're talking about different colour bins, different colour bags, and staff all having the training and signage to make it usable. And guess what? Sites doing this have seen cost reductions and carbon improvements at the same time. Pharma companies are now auditing suppliers, not just for GMP compliance, but for sustainability performance. How are solvents shipped? Are raw materials ethically sourced? What about water usage in the manufacturing of APIs? Things like green metrics are being written into quality agreements. It's no longer just about can you supply, it's about can you supply sustainably. When sites launch sustainability initiatives that feel real, like a recycling challenge or a carbon dashboard, staff engagement will go up. Why? Because it gives it meaning. People want to feel part of something bigger than just batch records and CAPAs. Want a practical starting point? Well, look at your autoclave cycles. Many sites are running overly long cycles based on historical settings, not actual load needs. A validated review of steam cycles has saved hundreds of hours of energy time annually on some sites. Small changes, but big gains. Why not try and take this back into your facility? So let's recap. Pharma is changing, but doing it within the limits of GMP. From greener buildings and cleaner supply chains to smarter waste and staff-led change, the green revolution is moving in. And you? Well, you can be part of it, no matter what role you play. If you found this video helpful, please do 3 quick things. Subscribe to Help Me GMP. We drop free training videos every week. Share this with a colleague who still thinks that pharma cannot go green. And why not drop us a comment below? What's your site doing to cut waste and reduce energy? Thanks for watching, and remember, compliance doesn't have to be confusing with Help Me GMP.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Help Me GMP. Today's video is a really important one because we're going to dig into one of the most trusted and respected roles in the pharmaceutical industry, and that's the QP, or qualified person. Now, if you've ever wondered what a QP actually does, what it takes to become one, or why this role is so critical to patient safety, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Okay, so first things first. What is a QP? A qualified person is legally responsible for certifying that each batch of a medicinal product is safe, high quality, and made according to strict regulatory standards before it's released to the market. In simple terms, if the QP doesn't sign it off, the product doesn't move. It's as simple as that. And this is not just a company policy, it's a legal requirement under UK and EU law. In the UK, the role is defined under the Human Medicines Regulations 2012, and there is equivalent legislation across Europe originating from what's commonly known as the Human Medicines Directive. Alright, now let's get into the real nuts and bolts. What does a QP actually do day to day? I'm going to break it down into some key areas. Batch certification. This is the bread and butter of being a QP. A QP is responsible for ensuring everything about a batch meets the required standards. This includes starting materials, manufacturing processes, in-process controls, testing data, deviations, change controls, CAPAs, regulatory compliance, the list goes on. Checking that at every stage the requirements of GMP, the marketing authorization and the manufacturing license are all met. Only after we're 100% satisfied will a QP certify a batch, usually with a dated signature or an electronic release, or sometimes signing in a physical register. Now you might be thinking, how long does that take? Honestly, it depends. Some batches can be straightforward. Others can take days of investigations and risk assessments, especially if there's been a deviation. Speaking of deviations, no manufacturing process is perfect, right? Deviations happen, and this is where QPs really earn their keep. The QP gets involved with any deviations to establish, is the batch still safe? Was the deviation fully investigated to an appropriate point to support release? Has the deviation resulted in regulatory non-compliance? Have the right corrective actions been taken? Are we confident the root cause has been identified and appropriate preventive actions been assigned? If there's a non-compliance with the regulatory submissions like the marketing authorization, or the batch fails to meet the required standard, the QP will refuse to certify the batch. What about inspections? Would you expect a QP to be in attendance with the heads of quality and heads of production? Of course you would. They're named on the manufacturing license and have a vested interest in ensuring the inspection goes smoothly. Being front and centre in inspections is key to a QP's role. When the MHRA or other regulator comes knocking, they often ask for the QP by name. They'll quiz the QP on individual batch release decisions, deviations, training records, GMP understanding, you name it. The QP's confidence and competence can make or break an inspection. And trust me, inspectors can smell indecision or hesitation a mile away. They'll expect QPs to be sharp and be able to defend their decision. And trust me, inspectors can smell hesitation or indecision a mile away. They'll expect QPs to be sharp and be able to defend their batch release decision based on evidence documented in the quality system. But it's not just about individual batches. QPs are present in pharmaceutical manufacturing companies to be the eyes and ears of the regulators. They often shape how the company handles change controls, training, deviation management, validation, and qualification. They are personally and legally accountable for their decisions. So they have a big say in the design and maintenance of the pharmaceutical quality system, or PQS. Basically, They don't just manage quality, they live it. Okay, let's have a quick overview of the main tools in a QP's toolbox. Batch manufacturing records, or BMRs, the full recipe or history of every batch. Deviation reports, explaining what went wrong, its impact, and how it was fixed. Change controls, managing any change to materials, processes, or equipment. Quality control test results for raw materials, in-process tests, drug substance and drug product. CAPA systems, where we manage and track our corrective actions and preventive actions. Training records to evidence that people making or testing the medicine are properly trained. Audit reports, both internal and external inspections to identify areas of weakness. And risk assessments, a fundamental part of quality risk management. And believe me, if there's something missing, regulators will definitely notice. Alright, let's talk about you. If you want to be a QP one day, what do you need? Firstly, the academic requirements. Usually a degree in pharmacy, chemistry, biology, or biochemistry, or a related degree. You'll also need additional specific QP training depending on your experience, covering things like GMP, clinical trials, pharmaceutical law, and different types of production techniques. Then you'll also need to meet the experience requirements. You must prove you have extensive experience in pharmaceutical manufacturing, testing and quality systems, at least 2 years for most applicants, but in reality it's often far longer than that. You can't just do a course and call yourself a QP, you'll usually need years of real-world experience first. So what about the application and the assessment process? In the UK, you have to be assessed by the joint professional bodies made up of the Royal Pharmaceutical Society, the Royal Society of Biology and the Royal Society of Chemistry. Once your sponsor has approved your extensive application form and it's accepted, the assessment is in the form of an interview or viva, where you'll be grilled nicely on your knowledge and decision-making skills. There's some essential soft skills that prospective QPs need. An unshakable attention to detail, the ability to stay calm under pressure, good judgment, you'll be required to make the final call on tricky batch decisions, and leadership and communication skills. You'll have to be able to challenge people respectfully and guide teams towards GMP compliance. And yes, sometimes that means saying no, when a lot of people want you to say yes. You've got to have a strong character and a clear moral compass. The good news? Once you're an eligible QP, you're highly respected and you'll have a ton of options. You can move up into roles like Director of Quality, VP of Regulatory Affairs, or even General Manager. You can specialise, maybe in clinical trials, biologics, or cell and gene therapy. You can consult. Freelance QPs are in demand and can earn very good money. And you can work globally. QPs are highly valued in the UK, Europe, and even in Australia, Singapore, and beyond, even where that territory may not legally need a QP. Plus, you'll always have job security, because companies can't release products without you. Look, at the end of the day, the QP is the final safety net between a medicine and a patient. When you certify a batch, you're personally vouching that it's safe and meets the required standards. You're protecting people you'll never meet, patients trusting their lives to those medicines. It's a huge responsibility, but take it from me, it's also one of the most rewarding careers you can have in the pharmaceutical industry. If you love quality, you love detail, and you want to make a real difference, think seriously about aiming to become a qualified person. Thanks so much for watching today. Make sure you hit like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more deep dives into GMP careers and compliance tips. See you next time on Help Me GMP.
Welcome back to the Roles in Pharma series on Help Me GMP. In this video, we're giving you a clear and practical look at what the head of production does. If you've ever wondered what it takes to lead in a sterile manufacturing setting, where compliance, output, and safety all need to align, this is the video for you. Sterile medicines aren't just clean, they're critical. From chemotherapy and antibiotics to supportive treatments, These products help hospitals care for patients safely and on time. The head of production leads the team that makes this all possible. So what does a typical day look like? The day often starts with a quick team meeting to review priorities and check on production performance. Then it's about keeping things moving, supporting batch progress, reviewing documents, speaking with quality colleagues about any issues, and making sure everything runs to plan. You'll also spend time looking ahead. Training, projects, and long-term planning all fall under your role. Here are some of the key areas a head of production manages. Clean room and contamination control. You make sure everything runs according to good manufacturing practice, Annex 1, and clean room standards, workflow, and layout. You plan how people and materials move through the facility in a safe and compliant way. Team development. From hiring to training, you build the team's skills and culture. Oversight and planning. You don't just manage the day-to-day, you keep an eye on data, trends, and long-term goals. Equipment and maintenance. You work closely with the engineering team to make sure isolators and other equipment stay qualified and working. New product introduction. You help launch new medicines, including validation and process testing. Testing support. You work with quality control to plan sample testing and make sure results support batch release. Investigations. If something goes wrong, like an environmental alarm, you help find out why and fix it. Communication. You update other teams like pharmacy, quality, and senior leaders with the information they need. Regulatory readiness. You keep the site ready for inspections and ahead of changes in the rules. Things go wrong in pharmaceutical manufacturing. It's just reality. The difference is how you handle it. As head of production, people look to you. Stay calm, make clear decisions, and keep the team confident. That kind of leadership builds trust and gets results. You might hear people talk about production versus quality, but that's the wrong mindset. These teams should work together. Shared goals, clear roles, and trust between departments lead to smoother operations and better outcomes for patients. It's not a competition, it's a partnership. Culture starts with the leader. You set the tone by coaching your team, including them in audits, and building confidence. When people feel trusted and supported, safety and compliance follow naturally. Not because they have to, but because they want to. To measure success, you track things like right first-time documentation, on-time in full delivery, cleanroom environmental data. These numbers show how the system is working and where you can improve. Even small changes make a big difference. Swapping paper logs for digital, updating workflows, or improving a transfer step can all add up. One change might save a minute per batch. Multiplied over the year, that's real impact. To succeed as head of production, you need to apply good manufacturing practice in real-world decisions, stay calm and lead under pressure, build a strong team culture, work hand in hand with quality teams, think across the whole system, not just today's tasks, but future needs too. There's more than one path into this role. Some come from operations, others from pharmacy or quality, but the best leaders are curious, committed, and team-oriented. Leadership isn't just a skill, it's a mindset. If this video helped you understand the head of production role, click like, subscribe, and share your questions in the comments. And if you're curious about qualified persons, check out our QP video as well. Thanks for watching Help Me GMP.
Hey, and welcome back to Help Me GMP. This is part 4 of our interview series, and today we're talking about the tricky ones. So those situational questions, you know, the ones that start with, tell me about a time when. Now I know what you might be thinking. I've never worked in pharma, so how do I answer that? Well, don't worry, you don't need years of experience to give a strong answer. I've sat through more interviews than I can count, and honestly, some of the best responses that I've ever heard came from everyday roles such as retail, hospitality, care, volunteering. They're not GMP environments. Because what really matters is how you think, how you act, and how you learn. So today I'll show you how to structure your answers using those real-world experiences. And we'll go through 3 practical examples that work brilliantly for entry-level GDP or GMP roles. So we don't say this in the interviews, but behind the scenes we're using the STAR method as well. That means setting the scene, describing your task, explaining what you did, and what happened next. So without further ado, let's get straight into those model answers. So question 1. Tell me about a time when you have kept something organised in a busy environment. Well, in my previous job, I worked on the delivery team at a large supermarket. We received daily stock deliveries and sometimes up to 20 cages a day, and had a limited backroom space. If that space wasn't managed properly, it could lead to delays, safety risks, or stock going out of date. So one weekend, our main delivery arrived several hours late due to a depot issue. There was only 2 of us on the shift, and the store was already getting busy. I paused for a moment and I suggested we reorganise the cages by category: chilled, frozen, and ambient. That way we could deal with the temperature sensitive stock first and reduce time lost rummaging through mixed pallets. I also checked expiry dates as we worked and flagged anything short dated to the duty manager. We cleared the backlog within a couple of hours, avoided waste and kept the aisles clear for customers. The store manager used our photos in the next day's team brief to show what good actually looked like. That shift really taught me that when things feel hectic, you don't have to rush in. You just get organised, communicate and stay focused. And that's exactly the kind of mindset I bring to a GDP or GMP regulated space. So let's move on to question 2. Tell me about a time you have had to follow a strict process. So, example is, when I worked in a cafe, one of our most important responsibilities was managing allergen requests. Orders with allergens had to be flagged at the till, communicated to the kitchen, and then prepared using separate set of utensils and services. So one day, a customer told me that they had a nut allergy when ordering a cake, but when I looked at the kitchen ticket, the allergen flag wasn't there. I didn't assume that someone else had caught it. I paused the order and went straight to the chef. We cancelled the original dish, cleaned down the area and remade it using the correct process. After service, I brought it up in the team meeting and we agreed to add an extra verbal allergen check before anything left the kitchen. That moment really hit home for me. Processes aren't there just to tick boxes, they're there to keep people safe. And that's the kind of mindset, following procedures carefully and always checking, is something that I would look to do and carry into this GMP role. And last but not least, question 3. Tell me about a time you have spotted a mistake and corrected it. So the answer would be, I used to volunteer at a local charity shop, and part of my job was sorting donations and pricing items using a reference guide. One shift, I noticed that a winter coat from a well-known brand had been labelled for £5. I remembered seeing that brand in our guide list closer to about £40. So rather than just charging the price, I flagged it up with the manager. We checked it together, corrected the label, and left a note in the pricing log so others wouldn't miss it in the future. The coat sold the next day at full value, and the manager thanked me for being proactive. I also suggested that we create a simple quick checklist near the till for common brands, to make it easier for other volunteers to spot high value items. This experience showed me that small errors can have big impact. But if you're paying attention and willing to speak up, you can protect the whole process. So to wrap it up, situational questions aren't just about what happened. They're about how you think, how you act, and how you learn from it. And here's the key thing. You don't need GMP experience to show that mindset. Everyday challenges, if you handle them with care, structure and reflection, can show interviewers that you already have the qualities they're looking for GMP entry roles. So in those GDP warehousing and GMP production floor roles, employers want people who are accountable, detail focused, calm under pressure, and committed to doing the right thing every time. So if you're preparing for an interview, don't sell yourself short. Bring your stories and prove you're ready to step into a regulated environment. Thanks again for watching Help Me GMP, and this was part 4 of our interview tips and model answers series. If you haven't already watched part 1s through to 3 yet, check them out. Hopefully they help. And keep an eye out for part 5 where we'll focus on documentation and quality based roles. Finally, if this helped you, please like the video, hit subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you soon in the next video.
Hi, I'm Charlie, and together with Adam and Kyle, we're the team behind Help Me GMP. Our mission is straightforward: to give you clear, free training on GMP, GDP, and all things compliance. No fluff, no jargon, just real knowledge you can put to work in the pharmaceutical world. Today we are unpacking the Site Master File, normally shortened to SMF. Think of it as the front door to your quality system. Inspectors usually read it before they even come to site. It helps them decide which doors to open when they arrive. So if you get the SMF right, you start the visit on the front foot. The European Union provides explanatory notes on the preparation of the SMF in Volume 4, Part 3 of the GMP Guidelines. This is aligned with the World Health Organization's template, contained in TRS 961, Annex 14. The guidance is clear. Every authorized manufacturing or testing site must maintain a single, controlled SMF that is factual and up to date. A quick note on size. Regulators suggest 25 to 30 pages, plus appendices for maps or flowcharts. Anything longer, and the document becomes cumbersome and frustrating to read for an inspector. If your site manufactures, packs, tests, labels, releases, or stores medicinal product or active substance that eventually reaches patients, you need an SMF. That includes sterile, non-sterile, radiopharma, biologicals, ATMPs, you name it. Contract labs and repackagers need one too, scoped to the activity they perform. Start with the legal entity name, exact address, and contact details for management and quality. Add your manufacturing authorizations, GMP certificates, and licensing history. A concise site map or aerial photo is useful here, so inspectors can orient themselves quickly. Outline the organizational chart down to department head level. Show reporting lines for quality assurance, production, QC, engineering and warehouse. Include total headcount, shift structure, and a paragraph on the experience profile of key individual, for example, qualified person or responsible person. Explain how your QMS is built. List the main SOP tiers, change control, deviation management, CAPA, and annual product quality review. Mention which electronic systems you use and reference their validation. Here the inspector wants proof that the building and critical utilities are designed for GMP. Provide a schematic of HVAC zoning, a high-level isolator or cleanroom layout, plus brief notes on critical equipment like autoclaves, filling lines, lyophilizer, and environmental monitoring system. Keep the details high level. The quality system and equipment records hold the granular data. Summarize how SOPs are authored, approved, distributed, and archived. State whether you use electronic signatures and how you manage backups. Explain your record retention, archive and destruction policy by document type. Describe product families made on site and the scale of operations. For example, vial filling, oral solid dose, semi-solids. Give annual batch output or capacity ranges rather than commercial secrets. Include high-level flowcharts showing the product path from raw material receipt to distribution of finished product. List in-house analytical capabilities like HPLC, GC, endotoxin and sterility testing, and which tests are sent to contract labs. Note reference standard management, out-of-spec investigation flow, and data integrity safeguards such as user-based access to chromatography data systems. If another company performs any step on your license, name them, list the activity, and reference the technical agreement. State how you audit and oversee them. Outline storage conditions, cold chain controls, GDP transport partners, and your recall decision tree. Keep it short but specific. Timeframe to start a recall, cross-functional recall committee membership, and up-to-date contact details for the relevant regulatory agencies should a recall be required. Close with how you monitor your own compliance. Mention internal audit frequency, how audit findings feed into CAPA, and how you use quality risk management principles, referencing ICHQ 9. Here's a few common own goals regarding site master files. Out-of-date utility diagrams after an engineering change. Job titles that no longer match the organizational structure. A gap between the SMF statement and the validated scope of electronic systems. Copy-pasted text from a corporate template that does not reflect local practice. Set a hard calendar event to review the SMF every 12 months and include consideration of the impact of change within your change control procedure. Use a document history table to list version, effective date, and a short summary of changes between versions. Provide hyperlinks to underpinning SOPs in the electronic version so you are never chasing paper on inspection day. For large sites, consider using separate appendices to make updates easier to implement without the need to review and approve a new version of the entire document. Your site master file is not just an inspector courtesy, it is a living portrait of your quality culture. Keep it concise, keep it honest. Don't wait for the request from a regulator to update it. If you found this walkthrough useful, hit subscribe, share it with a colleague, and drop your SMF questions below. See you in the next video. Hi, I'm Charlie, and together with Adam and Kyle, we're the team behind Help Me GMP. Our mission is straightforward: to give you clear, free training on GMP, GDP, and all things compliance. No fluff, no jargon. Just real knowledge you can put to work in the pharmaceutical world. Today we're looking at a role that's absolutely critical for any company that supplies medicines under a wholesale distribution authorization, or WDA, still sometimes called a WDL. There's also two types of authorization. One for human medicines, which adds an H to the WDA, and one for veterinary medicines, which adds a VE. Both types of WDA require a responsible person, usually shortened to RP, to take on key legal responsibilities. In this video, we'll cover what the RP does, how the role compares with the head of production, the head of quality control, and the qualified person on a manufacturer's license, and why the RP is so central to the safe supply of medicines. Let's get into it. Let's start with what is a responsible person and what do they do? The RP is a mandatory, named position on every WDA. Their mission: make sure every activity linked to storage, distribution, and supply of medicines follows good distribution practice, or GDP. GDP protects the quality and integrity of medicines after they leave the factory until they reach the point of care. The RP is legally accountable for that protection and must keep the supply chain secure, compliant, and traceable. Their key duties include maintaining a fully functioning quality management system, planning and evaluating self-inspections and internal audits, ensuring medicines are stored and transported under the correct temperature and environmental conditions, approving or rejecting suppliers and customers, handling complaints, returns and recalls, being continuously contactable, or having written controlled delegation, ensuring the security of the supply chain is maintained throughout the storage and distribution lifecycle. You may wonder how the RP compares with other manufacturing roles. Under a manufacturer's license, you normally see 2 to 3 senior posts. The head of production, who is accountable for how the product is made, ensuring manufacturing is performed under controlled GMP compliance conditions. The head of quality control, who is responsible for testing and confirming the product meets specifications and managing the quality system in a pharmaceutical manufacturing site. And the qualified person, or QP, is a legally separate named individual who certifies each batch before release. In some firms, the head of quality control is also the QP. In others, the roles are split. All three are named on the manufacturer's license, just as the RP is named on the WDA. Here's the key differences. GMP roles protect the product inside the factory, making it correctly and releasing it only when it passes every test. So, what background does an RP need? A solid scientific or technical background. Pharmacy, life sciences, chemistry, engineering and similar fields are all common. Documented GDP training and ongoing continuing professional development. Hands-on experience with distribution operations and quality systems. The authority and the confidence to make tough independent decisions that put patient safety ahead of commercial pressure. The MHRA expects evidence that the RP is truly active in the business, present in audits, deviation investigations, temperature excursion reviews, SOP updates, CAPA follow-through, and change control boards. What are the common mistakes companies make? The RP is on the license but not involved in day-to-day operations. No robust traceability or temperature monitoring system. SOPs are out of date, or don't align with GDP. The RP is left out of deviations, recalls, or change control. Training records don't demonstrate ongoing GDP competence. All of these raise red flags for inspectors and put the WDA at risk. The RP needs real authority, visibility, and empowerment. Why does this role matter more than ever? Complex global supply chains, the rise of cold chain biologics, counterfeit medicine threats, and stricter data integrity expectations all make the RP indispensable. Think of the QP as the gatekeeper that releases each batch into the market. The RP is the guardian that protects those batches in the wild. Whether you're already working in distribution, thinking of becoming an RP, or a production or quality professional, mapping how these roles connect, we hope this video clarifies the similarities, the differences, and the day-to-day importance of the RP. I'm Charlie. And on behalf of Adam, Kyle, and the whole Help Me GMP team, thanks for watching. Remember, GMP protects how it's made. GDP protects how it moves. Both protect the patient. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and let us know what you'd like us to cover next. Stay safe, stay compliant. See you next time. Welcome to GMP Explained, our latest introduction to GMP for those interested in starting their journey into pharmaceutical manufacturing and good manufacturing practice. Lock in to hear the key principles which underpin the manufacture of medicines. Every medicine you've ever taken, from a simple painkiller to life-saving chemotherapy, depends on just 5 principles. Miss even one, and patient safety is at risk. These are the principles of good manufacturing practice. Now imagine walking through a pharmaceutical facility for the very first time. Staff move with precision. Corridors are spotless. Controlled access doors protect every area. Nothing is left to chance. It almost feels choreographed. And it is. Behind the scenes, every action, every record, every decision follows those 5 guiding principles. In this video, we're going to break them down so you not only know what they are, but why they matter. We'll go beyond the definition and look at the 5 core principles that every pharmaceutical professional should know. In our previous video, we covered what GMP is, the legal and regulatory framework that governs how medicines are made. Now let's take a more practical look. GMP can be summarized into 5 principles: people, premises, processes, products, and procedures. People are at the heart of GMP. Even the most advanced facility depends on the competence and integrity of its staff. Everyone has a defined role, and each role comes with specific responsibilities that must be understood and carried out exactly as intended. In GMP, the human factor can be the greatest strength or the greatest risk. That is why staff must be recruited carefully, trained thoroughly, and assessed regularly. It is not enough to provide training once. Competence must be maintained over time through refresher courses, on-the-job coaching, and regular assessments. Behaviour is just as important as technical skill. The way a person moves within a clean room, how they handle materials, how they follow procedures, all of these affect product quality. Gowning incorrectly, skipping a hand wash step, or misunderstanding a procedure can all lead to contamination or quality failure. In short, GMP relies on people who are knowledgeable, disciplined, and committed to doing the right thing every time, even when no one is watching. The environment in which medicines are made is just as critical as the people making them. Premises must be designed to minimize the risk of contamination and cross-contamination. This involves careful zoning of areas based on cleanliness classification, controlling the flow of materials and personnel, and ensuring that surfaces are easy to clean and resistant to damage. Air handling systems must provide the right level of filtration and pressure control. Clean rooms require strict environmental monitoring to verify that the conditions are suitable for manufacturing at all times. Premises are not static, they must be maintained, cleaned, and validated regularly. A neglected facility can quickly become a compliance risk, so housekeeping, repair, and preventative maintenance schedules are essential. Well-designed premises don't just meet regulations, they support efficient workflows and reduce the risk of human error. By the way, if you're finding this breakdown useful, don't forget to hit subscribe. We've got more practical GMP training videos just like this one every week. Processes are the controlled, repeatable ways of working that turn raw materials into finished medicines. They must be clearly defined, documented, and validated before they are put into routine use. Validation demonstrates that a process can consistently produce a product that meets all specifications. Once validated, the process must be followed exactly as described in the approved procedures. Any deviation, no matter how small, must be recorded, investigated and resolved before the product can be released. Change control is a vital part of process management. If a change is needed, whether it's a new piece of equipment, an updated material, or a modified step, it must be assessed for risk, approved, and revalidated if necessary before implementation. Robust processes not only protect product quality, but also make it easier to identify and correct problems before they reach the patient. The ultimate goal of GMP is to produce medicines that are safe, effective, and of the highest quality. That starts with sourcing the right raw materials from approved suppliers, verifying their identity and quality before use. Quality checks are built into every stage of manufacturing, not just at the end. In-process testing ensures that each step is performed correctly and that problems are detected early. Finished product testing confirms that the medicine meets its specifications before it is released. This work is supported by the quality control laboratories who carry out stability studies and rigorous batch reviews. Traceability is key. From raw material receipt to patient use, every batch must be fully documented and recoverable in the event of a recall. Protecting the integrity of the product is protecting the safety of the patient. Procedures are the backbone of GMP. They are the documented instructions that ensure tasks are performed consistently and correctly every time. These documents, often called Standard Operating Procedures, or SOPs, describe exactly how a task should be carried out, who is responsible, and what records must be kept. Following procedures prevents errors, supports training, and provides evidence during inspections that work has been carried out correctly. In GMP, there is a well-known phrase, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Good documentation is not just a regulatory requirement, it is proof that the process was followed and the product is safe. Procedures must be kept up to date, reviewed regularly, and updated whenever processes change. Outdated or unclear instructions are a direct risk to compliance and product quality. These are the 5 core principles of GMP: people, premises, processes, products, and procedures. Each principle is important on its own. Together they form a framework that protects patients, upholds trust, and ensures that every medicine is made to the highest standard. Understanding these principles is more than meeting regulations. It is about being part of a system that saves lives. So those are the 5 principles of GMP: people, premises, processes, products, and procedures. Together they protect patients and keep our medicines safe. If you found this helpful, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. If you missed our introduction to GMP, I recommend starting there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with new content. We're building a fantastic community, and it would be great to have you as part of it.
Help Me GMP.
What is GMP, and why is it important in pharmaceutical manufacturing? Good manufacturing practice, or GMP, is a set of quality assurance guidelines that ensure pharmaceutical products are consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards. The regulations cover all aspects of production, including raw materials, premises, equipment, training, and personal hygiene. GMP is crucial in pharmaceutical manufacturing because it prevents contamination, mix-ups, and errors. It ensures patient safety by maintaining product efficacy and purity. It complies with regulatory requirements from authorities such as the Food and Drug Administration and the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, and it minimises risks in production that cannot be fully eliminated through final product testing alone. What are the fundamental principles of GMP? The fundamental principles of GMP include a quality management system, which is a structured framework ensuring compliance with quality standards. Personnel and training are also crucial, as employees must be qualified and continually trained. Facilities and equipment must be clean, well-maintained and properly calibrated. Production and process controls need to be well-defined and validated. Quality control and testing require effective, analytical methods to confirm product quality. Change management involves formal procedures for approving any alterations. Risk management is about proactively identifying and mitigating potential risks. Documentation and record keeping should be complete, clear, and traceable. What is the difference between GMP and CGMP and EU GMP? Good manufacturing practice comprises general regulatory guidelines that ensure pharmaceutical products are safe and meet quality standards. Current good manufacturing practice is the term used by the United States Regulatory authority to indicate adherence to the latest industry standards and continuous improvements. European Good Manufacturing Practice refers to the guidelines detailed in EUDRA Lex Volume 4, which are often stricter in areas such as data integrity within the quality management system. What is the role of the MHRA FDA EMA in pharmaceutical compliance? These regulatory agencies oversee pharmaceutical manufacturing to ensure patient safety and product efficacy. The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency regulates medicines and conducts inspections in the United Kingdom. The Food and Drug Administration ensures drug safety, efficacy, and adherence to current good manufacturing practice in the United States. The European Medicines Agency coordinates pharmaceutical regulations across Europe and enforces the European guidelines. What are the key elements of data integrity in GMP? Data integrity ensures that all records are attributable to the person who generated them, clearly linked to that individual, legible, easily readable and permanent, recorded in real time, original first-hand sources of data rather than copies, and accurate, reliable and error-free. In addition, information must be complete, consistent, enduring and available, ensuring full traceability. What is quality assurance, and how does it differ from quality control? Quality assurance is a proactive, system-wide approach that builds quality into processes. It includes risk management, development of standard operating procedures, training and audits. Quality control, by contrast, is a reactive approach that involves testing raw materials, in-process samples, and finished products to ensure they meet predefined specifications. What are the main responsibilities of a QA professional in a pharmaceutical company? A quality assurance professional is responsible for implementing and maintaining the quality management system. They review and approve standard operating procedures and batch records, conduct internal audits, train staff on GMP requirements, investigate deviations, implement corrective and preventive actions to address non-conformances and prevent recurrence, and ensure regulatory compliance and preparation for inspections. What is a deviation, and how should it be handled in a GMP environment? A deviation is any departure from an approved process, a standard operating procedure, or a specification. It should be handled by documenting the deviation immediately, conducting an investigation to determine the root cause, assessing the impact on product quality and patient safety, implementing corrective and preventive actions, and obtaining a final review and approval from quality assurance. What are corrective and preventive actions, and why are they important? Corrective and preventive actions are a structured approach to identifying and addressing quality issues so they don't happen again. Corrective actions are the immediate steps you take to fix a non-conformance, while preventive actions are the measures you put in place to stop that issue from recurring. They are critical for continuous improvement and for meeting regulatory requirements, because simply testing at the end of production can't catch every potential problem. By fixing issues at their root and preventing them in the future, you safeguard product quality and patient safety. What is validation, and why is it important in pharmaceutical manufacturing? Validation is documented evidence demonstrating that a system, process or method consistently produces results meeting predetermined acceptance criteria. It ensures that products meet quality requirements and comply with regulatory standards. Validation activities include process validation to confirm that manufacturing processes yield consistent results, analytical method validation to verify that laboratory test methods are accurate and precise, and cleaning validation to demonstrate that equipment, cleaning procedures effectively prevent cross-contamination. What is the difference between critical quality attributes and critical process parameters? Critical quality attributes are the key product characteristics that must be controlled to guarantee quality, things like pH, potency, or sterility. If these slip outside their limits, the medicine might no longer be safe or effective. Now, critical process parameters are different. These are the process settings that can directly impact those CQAs. Think about temperature, pressure, or mixing time. If those drift, your quality attributes are at risk. That's why we say, control the parameters, protect the attributes, and safeguard the product. It's the foundation of pharmaceutical manufacturing. What is an audit? An audit is basically a systematic check to make sure GMP is being followed, but there are a few different types. First, internal audits, done by your company to check compliance. Second, regulatory audits, carried out by agencies like the FDA or MHRA. Third, customer or client audits. These are your customers making sure your standards meet their expectations. And finally, supplier audits, checking that your suppliers themselves are compliant with GMP. 4 types. 1 goal, protecting quality and patient safety. Qualification versus validation. People often mix these two up. Qualification is about making sure equipment or facilities are properly designed, installed and functioning correctly. Validation proves that a process or system consistently delivers quality results. So to put it simply, qualification is checking the tools, validation is checking the outcome. What is quality by design? Quality by design is all about building quality into a product from day one, not just relying on end testing. Here's how it works. You start by defining the quality target product profile, things like purity, bioburden, and uniformity. Then identify the critical quality attributes that affect safety and effectiveness. Use risk management tools like failure mode and effects analysis to reduce risks. And finally, develop process understanding and control, creating a design space for consistent production. The benefit? Better quality, fewer issues, and stronger regulatory compliance. What is the difference between sterile versus non-sterile manufacturing? Sterile and non-sterile manufacturing have very different requirements. Sterile manufacturing needs strict environmental controls to prevent contamination. It's used for products like injectables and eye drops. Methods include aseptic processing or terminal sterilization. It demands HEPA-filtered air, restricted environments, and validated sterilization. Non-sterile manufacturing is for products like tablets, creams, or ointments. GMP still applies, but a sterile environment isn't required. Both approaches protect quality, but the level of control is very different. What is an out-of-specification result? An out-of-specification result means a material, product, or test failed to meet its acceptance criteria. Here's how it's investigated. Phase 1. A. The lab checks for obvious errors, like equipment malfunction or sample prep mistakes. Phase 1B. The analyst and supervisor review everything against a checklist. If something looks suspicious, hypothesis testing can confirm or rule it out. Only if the test is invalid can a retest happen, and it must be fully justified. If lab errors are ruled out, then it's Phase 2, investigating the manufacturing process, raw materials, or equipment. Root cause analysis tools, like the Ishikawa diagram or 5 whys, are used. Then corrective and preventive actions are put in place. Finally, QA makes the decision. Reject, reprocess, rework, or release the batch. What is change control? Change control is a structured system for managing changes in pharmaceutical manufacturing. It covers changes to processes, equipment, facilities, raw materials, packaging, analytical methods, or SOPs. Why is it so important? Because even a small uncontrolled change can create major quality problems, cause regulatory issues, or even put patients at risk. Good change control is about staying compliant and keeping products safe. What is environmental monitoring? Environmental monitoring is about checking the microbiological and particulate conditions in clean rooms and sterile areas. It includes air sampling for viable and non-viable particles. It looks at surface and personnel monitoring to catch contamination on gloves, garments, or equipment. And it tracks room pressure, temperature, and humidity to keep conditions stable. It's vital because it spots risks before they impact product quality. And it ensures compliance with ISO 14644 and EU GMP Annex 1, the role of the qualified person, or a QP. The QP has one of the most important responsibilities in pharma. They are legally required to certify that every batch of product meets GMP and its marketing authorization before it's released. Their responsibilities include batch certification, making sure manufacturing is licensed, and complying with national legislation. Each certification must be formally recorded, and beyond that, there are 21 additional professional duties. We cover those in detail in our full video, but the key point, QPs are legally required in the UK and EU, and they're central to protecting patients. What is a product recall? A recall is when defective or harmful products are removed from the market. Reasons could be contamination, labeling errors, stability problems, or even adverse event reports. The process works like this. First, carry out a risk assessment to classify the recall, Class 1, 2, or 3 in the EU, and up to Class 4 in the UK. Then, regulators must be notified and agree on the action. Next, remove and reconcile the affected products and carry out a root cause investigation with CAPAs. Sometimes public communication is needed to healthcare professionals or even patients. Finally, provide updates and a full final report to the regulator. The key with recalls: they must be fast, well documented, and laser focused on patient safety. This is a readout of the Annex 22 document currently out for consultation. It's great for those who prefer to listen rather than read. Scope. This annex applies to all types of computerized systems used in the manufacturing of medicinal products and active substances, where artificial intelligence models are used in critical applications with direct impact on patient safety, product quality, or data integrity, e.g. to predict or classify data. The document provides additional guidance to Annex 11 for computerized systems in which AI models are embedded. The document applies to machine learning, or AI/ML, models, which have obtained their functionality through training with data, rather than being explicitly programmed. Models may consist of several individual models, each automating specific process steps in GMP. The document applies to static models, i.e., models that do not adapt their performance during use by incorporating new data. The use of dynamic models which continuously and automatically learn and adapt performance during use is not covered by this document and should not be used in critical GMP applications. The document applies to models with a deterministic output which, when given identical inputs, provide identical outputs. Models with a probabilistic output which, when given identical inputs, might not provide identical outputs are not covered by this document and should not be used in critical GMP applications. Following the above, the document does not apply to generative AI and large language models, LLM, and such models should not be used in critical GMP applications. If used in non-critical GMP applications, which do not have direct impact on patient safety, product quality, or data integrity, personnel with adequate qualification and training should always be responsible for ensuring that the outputs from such models are suitable for the intended use, i.e. a human in the loop, or HITL, and the principles described in this document may be considered where applicable. Principles. Personnel. In order to adequately understand the intended use and the associated risks of the application of an AI model in a GMP environment, there should be close cooperation between all relevant parties during algorithm selection and model training, validation, testing, and operation. This includes but may not be limited to process subject matter experts, QA, data scientists, IT, and consultants. All personnel should have adequate qualifications, defined responsibilities, and appropriate level of access. Documentation. Documentation for activities described in this section should be available and reviewed by the regulated user, irrespective of whether a model is trained, validated, and tested in-house, or whether it is provided by a supplier or service provider. Quality risk management. Activities described in this document should be implemented based on the risk to patient safety, product quality, and data integrity. Intended use. The intended use of a model and the specific tasks it is designed to assist or automate should be described in detail based on an in-depth knowledge of the process the model is integrated in. This should include a comprehensive characterization of the data the model is intended to use as input and all common and rare variations, i.e. the input sample space. Any limitations and possible erroneous and biased inputs should be identified. A process subject matter expert should be responsible for the adequacy of the description, and it should be documented and approved before the start of acceptance testing. Subgroups. Where applicable, the input sample space should be divided into subgroups based on relevant characteristics. Subgroups may be defined by characteristics like the decision output, e.g. accept or reject, process-specific baseline characteristics, e.g. geographical site or equipment, specific characteristics in material or product, and characteristics specific to the task being automated, e.g. types and severity of defects. Human in the loop, where a model is used to give an input to a decision made by a human operator, and where the effort to test such model has been diminished, the description of the intended use should include the responsibility of the operator. In this case, the training and consistent performance of the operator should be monitored like any other manual process. Acceptance criteria, test metrics. Suitable case-dependent test metrics should be defined to measure the performance of the model according to the intended use. As an example, suitable test metrics for a model used to classify products, for example, accept or reject, may include but may not be limited to a confusion matrix, sensitivity, specificity, accuracy, precision, and/or F1 score. Acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria for the defined test metrics should be established by which the performance of the model should be considered acceptable for the intended use. The acceptance criteria may differ for specific subgroups within the intended use. A process subject matter expert should be responsible for the definition of the acceptance criteria, which should be documented and approved before the start of acceptance testing. No decrease. The acceptance criteria of a model should be at least as high as the performance of the process it replaces. This implies that the performance should be known for the process which is to be replaced by a model. Test data. Selection. Test data should be representative of and expand the full sample space of the intended use. It should be stratified, include all subgroups, and reflect the limitations, complexity, and all common and rare variations within the intended use of the model. The criteria and rationale for selection of test data should be documented. Sufficient in size. The test dataset and any of its subgroups should be sufficient in size to calculate the test metrics with adequate statistical confidence. Labeling. The labeling of test data should be verified following a process that ensures a very high degree of correctness. This may include independent verification by multiple experts, validated equipment, or laboratory tests. Pre-processing. Any pre-processing of the test data should be pre-specified, and a rationale should be provided that it represents intended use conditions. Exclusion. Any cleaning or exclusion of test data should be documented and fully justified. Data generation. Generation of test data or labels, e.g. by means of generative AI, is not recommended, and any use hereof should be fully justified. Test data independency. Independence. Effective measures consisting of technical and/or procedural controls should be implemented to ensure the independency of test data, i.e., that data which will be used to test a model is not used during development, training, or validation of the model. This may be by capturing test data only after completion of training and validation, or by splitting test data from a complete pool of data before training has started. Data split. If test data is split from a complete pool of data before training of the model, it is essential that employees involved in the development and training of the model have never had access to the test data. The test data should be protected by access control and audit trail functionality, logging accesses, and changes to these. There should be no copies of test data outside this repository. Identification. It should be recorded which data has been used for testing, when and how many times. Physical objects. When test data originates from physical objects, it should be ensured that the objects used for the final test of the model have not previously been used to train or validate the model, unless features are independent. Staff independency. Effective procedural and/or technical controls should be implemented to prevent staff members who have had access to test data from being involved in training and validation of the same model. In organizations where it is impossible to maintain this independency, a staff member who might have had access to test data for a model should only have access to training and validation of the same model when working together with a colleague who has not had this access. The 4 Eyes principle. Test execution. Fit for intended use. The test should ensure that a model is fit for intended use and is generalizing well. In other words, that the model has a satisfactory performance with new data from the intended use. This includes detecting possible over- or underfitting of the model to the training data. Test plan. Before the test is initiated, a test plan should be prepared and approved. It should contain a summary of the intended use, the predefined metrics and acceptance criteria, a reference to the test data, a test script including a description of all steps necessary to conduct the test, and a description of how to calculate the test metrics. A process subject matter expert should be involved in developing the plan. Deviation. Any deviation from the test plan, failure to meet acceptance criteria, or omission to use all test data should be documented, investigated, and fully justified. Test documentation. All test documentation should be retained, along with the description of the intended use, the characterization of test data, the actual test data, and where relevant physical test objects. In addition, documentation for access control to test data and related audit trail records should be retained similarly to other GMP documentation. Explainability, feature attribution. During testing of models used in critical GMP applications, systems should capture and record the features in the test data that have contributed to a particular classification or decision. Where applicable, techniques like feature attribution or visual tools like heat maps should be used to highlight key factors contributing to the outcome. Feature justification. In order to ensure that a model is making decisions based on relevant and appropriate features and based on risk, a review of these features should be part of the process for approval of test results. Confidence. Confidence score. When testing a model used to predict or classify data, the system should, where applicable, log the confidence score of the model for each prediction or classification outcome. Threshold. Models used to predict or classify data should have an appropriate threshold setting to ensure predictions or classifications are made only when suitable. If the confidence score is very low, it should be considered whether the model should flag the outcome as undecided, rather than making potentially unreliable predictions or classifications. Operation, change control. A tested model, the system it is implemented in, and the whole process it is automating or assisting should be put under change control before it is deployed in operation. Any change to the model itself, the system, or the process in which it is used, including any change to physical objects the model is using as input, should be documented and evaluated to determine if the model needs to be retested. Any decision not to conduct such retest should be fully justified. Configuration control. A tested model should be put under configuration control before being deployed in operation, and effective measures should be used to detect any unauthorized change. System performance monitoring. The performance of a model, as defined by its metrics, should be regularly monitored to detect any changes in the computerized system. Input sample space monitoring. It should be regularly monitored whether the input data are still within the model sample space and intended use. Metrics should be defined for monitoring any drift in the input data. Human review. When a model is used to give an input to a decision made by a human operator, and where the effort to test such model has been diminished, records should be kept from this process. Depending on the criticality of the process and the level of testing of the model, this may imply a consistent review and/or test of every output from the model according to a procedure. That concludes the readout of Annex 22, the draft guidance on artificial intelligence in EU GMP. Remember, this document is still under consultation, so feedback can be provided to the European Commission until the consultation period closes. There's a link in the description to the relevant EMA website. I'll now read out the glossary terms. Feel free to stick around to hear the definitions, or check out our other videos to find more GMP advice, tips and info. If you found this readout helpful, let us know and we'll create more for you. Which one do you want to hear next? Let us know in the comments section below. Here's the glossary. Artificial intelligence. AI system means a machine-based system that is designed to operate with varying levels of autonomy and that may exhibit adaptiveness after deployment, and that for explicit or implicit objectives infers from the input it receives how to generate outputs such as predictions, content, recommendations, or decisions that can influence physical or virtual environments. Deep learning. Approach to creating rich hierarchical representations through the training of neural networks with many hidden layers. Feature: a pattern in data that can be reduced to a simpler, higher-level representation. LIME, local interpretable, model-agnostic explanations. A technique that approximates any black box machine learning model with a local, interpretable model to explain each individual prediction. Machine learning. Machine learning refers to the computational process of optimizing the parameters of a model from data, which is a mathematical construct generating an output based on input data. Machine learning approaches include, for instance, supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning, using a variety of methods including deep learning with neural networks. Model: mathematical algorithms with parameters arranged in an architecture that allows learning of patterns from training data. Overfitting: learning details from training data that cannot be generalized to new data. SHAP: Shapley additive. Explanations: an explainable AI framework that can provide model-agnostic local explainability for tabular, image, and text datasets. Static: frozen model, a model where all parameters have been finally set, not allowing further adaptation to new data. Test dataset: the holdout data that's used to estimate performance of the final ML model. Training dataset: the data used to train the ML model. Validation dataset: in AI, the dataset used during model development to inform on how to optimally train the model from training data. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one.